This is Viola Desmond. There we go. You can see right through it, eh? And on the back or the front, whatever you want to say, every individual is equal before and under the law and has the right to the equal protection and equal benefit of the law without discrimination. Canadian Charter of Rights and Freedoms, Section 15. They have to put it on the mark just so you don't forget.
Canada's names. On Wall Street, Dow's up 123 and 28,500. There's a nice round number and one we've never seen before on the blue chip stock benchmark. S&P 500 up 6 points at 23. Check that at the 32.21. The Nasdaq up 39. As for the price of gold, if you're looking for a troy ounce, it'll set you back $1,481. I'll take one. Canadian dollar down 75.97 cents US. That's 680 News.
Direct invest with Scotia iTrade. Get up to $1,500 cash and $6.99 pricing, or up to $500 free equity trades. Details at scotiaitrade.com/winter20.
This Boxing Week at Rogers, you can unwrap more during the Wrap and Red event. That means more of our greatest offers of the year. Like buy one, get one when you activate 2 lines for the Samsung Galaxy S10 and Galaxy S10e. Infinite data you can share when you get them both on select 2-year Rogers Infinite plans. And more wireless listening with premium sound when you get a pair of Samsung Galaxy Buds free. Get twice the nice with Samsung Photo and free Galaxy Buds while quantities last during the Wrap and Red event. I'm now at Rogers.
Tis the season of doing and seeing and frosting, and eyeliner knows all that is exhausting. So dinner is covered, and it's a crowd pleaser. All you have to do is take it out of the freezer. We've got delicious, flaky cod that everyone craves, heavenly haddock that no pub can upstage, and a captain that keeps getting better with age. Finally, something that won't cause any stress. Satisfying seafood in 20 minutes or less.
Celebrating 120 years of Highliner seafood. Catch us in the frozen aisle. This is All News Radio, 680 News.
Foggy clouds in downtown Toronto, -4 degrees, factor in the wind, and it feels more like -9. Good afternoon from the 680 News Broadcast Center. I'm Sljana Timinsik.
And I'm James Monroe. Here's what's making news right now.
West 401 at Whites Road and the Collectors, all lanes open again following a lengthy police investigation into a drive-by shooting overnight. 3 people injured, 1 remains in hospital. York Regional Police have released graphic images of the woman attacked in a home invasion in Vaughan last week, stressing just how important it is that they find the suspects wanted. And coming up after sports, the number of confirmed flu cases up on both sides of the border.
Time now for 680 Sports from Sportsnet 590 fan. Here's Alex. Hey, James, the Maple Leafs can improve to 9-4 under Sheldon Keefe for the win tonight at the New York Rangers, and the changes under Keefe have been noticeable. The power play running 14% better, the penalty kill running 12% better. Freddie Anderson draws the starting goal at 7 on Sportsnet 590 The Fan and Sportsnet Hockey Central at 6:30. Meanwhile, the injuries to Marcus Saul and Norm Powell are going to be long-term, but Michael Grange doesn't get that sense regarding Pascal Siakam.
They're being extra cautious with it. Like, it's not like he's ruptured anything or, it's a bigger injury than people think. So, he's probably going to be out a couple of weeks would be, the minimum, but I don't think no one's expecting it to be, 6 weeks or 8 weeks or anything like that.
Fred VanVleet is questionable tonight when the Raptors host the Wizards. That's at 7:30. Back to hockey. Arizona Coyotes goaltender Darcy Kemper suffered a lower body injury last night against Minnesota. He is week to week. OHL action tonight. Mississauga home to Barrie at 7. Sports at 15 and 45 past every hour or anytime on the home of Tim and Sid, now on TV and radio. Sportsnet 590 The Fan.
680 News Time, 2:47.
Get ready to top up your PC Optimum points when you top up your tank at Esso and Mobile Stations. Earn an extra 30 points per liter, December 20th to 22nd. Load the offer, get the points. Conditions apply.
A celebration of taste.
Your holiday feast is on now at Mandarin. We've added traditional favorites for our all-you-can-eat buffet for a limited time while supplies last. Choose from featured dishes like roast turkey with all the fixings, spicy firecracker shrimp, pesto chicken pasta, ribeye steak, and a tasty array of holiday desserts. And if you're celebrating at home or in the office, try Mandarin party menus for takeout and delivery. So ring in your reservation today and make all your meals be merry.
Get ready to top up your PC Optimum points when you top up your tank at Esso and mobile stations. Earn an extra 30 points per liter December 20th to 22nd. Load the offer, get the points. Conditions apply.
This health report is brought to you by Cold Drops. One drop for temporary relief of sore throat and nasal congestion.
Cold Drops.
Cold Drops are available at Metro pharmacies near you. This product may not be right for you. Always read and follow the label.
The number of confirmed flu cases keeps rising on both sides of the border. ABC's Jim Ryan says U.S. health officials fear another long, deadly season of the sickness.
Well, people might think of it as a minor nuisance, sniffles and body aches. There's cause to take the flu seriously. The Centers for Disease Control and Prevention has recorded more than 2.5 million cases this year, 23,000 of those people ending up in the hospital. Tragically, 1,300 Americans have died of flu-related illnesses, at least 10 of them children.
Here in Canada, 200 people have been hospitalized with the flu so far
Oh,
this
that
season.
means 1,290 of them were
As we
adults.
near the end of the year, the top 80
fuck?
names for 2019 appear to be following a trend. They're calling this the decade of Olivia, topping names across the province since 2010 with more than 8,300 Olivias registered over the last 9 years. The top 3 girl names this year include Emma and Charlotte. As for boys, Liam
We'll
was the
call
most
that out
popular
at the
in
club.
2019.
Olivia.
Noah and Lucas took second and third spot. Traffic and weather together next.
680 News Time 250.
Hi, it's Fido. Holideals are in full swing and the fun continues with Boxing Week. Keep the best gift for yourself. The brilliant iPhone XR at $0 on select 2-year plans. It's brilliant in every way, including the price. And go all out without going over with data overage protection included on all new plans. Hurry up in store or at Fido.ca to discover more holideals. Conditions apply. Fido, go get it.
On the 12th dance green time, this is what I see. Sisters rolling. We spend over 250 hours on screens during the holidays. So HP now has 250 hours of printable activities for the family to get you off the screen. For the holidays with HP. Visit hp.com/getreal.
680 News Time 251.
Traffic and weather together all at once. Here is Asher Roth.
This report is brought to you by your Toronto area Ford dealers. So as I mentioned about 10 minutes ago, some great news in case you haven't heard it. Westbound 401, the collector lanes have reopened at White's Road. They were closed for almost 12 to 13 hours because of a police investigation. We got word from a traffic spotter that the White's ramp to the westbound 401 is reopened, but no word yet on the Liverpool or Kingston Road ramps. So just a heads up, you might want to get on a little further along, get on at White's or even at the Port Union Shepherd on ramps might be your best bet right now. It's slow also on the westbound 401 from Kennedy and the collectors, and from Warden in the express to west of Avenue, from Allen off and on express and collectors to west of Dixon, and from approaching here Ontario to west of Mavis. Eastbound 401, we've still got this construction crew filling potholes near the 407 ramp. Interesting timing, given everybody jetting over to the airport and going shopping today. We've got a lot of traffic spotters saying it's very, very slow all the way back from approaching Guelph line off and on to the 407. We're told Campbellville Road is a better alternative. Eastbound 401 then slow from the 427 off and on express and collectors to east of the 400, from Avenue to Yonge in the express, and then from Baby to Leslie in the collectors. If you're traveling south on the 404 DVP, a delay from Finch to south of Lawrence, and then on the westbound Gardner, it is jammed up from the DVP to west of Dufferin. We just got word from a traffic spotter. The ramp to the Lakeshore is blocked partially because of a crash. If you're headed west on the QEW, slow from west of the 427 to west of Cawthra, and then on the eastbound QEW, still slow through the Mississauga area from Winston Churchill to approaching Dixie, and then the eastbound Gardner moving well right now. Northbound DVP, you'll find delays from the Baby Blue ramps up to north of Lawrence. Get up to $10,500 in rebates on select new 2019 F-150 models at the Ford year-end event. Visit Ford.ca for more details. Your next report is at 3:01, and with the extended forecast, here's Denise Andriachi.
Mainly sunny this afternoon. Dress for wind chills in the minus double digits. We're still dealing with some very cold air, but that's lifting through the weekend as we officially welcome winter. We are getting above seasonal. Sun and cloud near +3 for Saturday, Sunday, Monday. We are expected to see highs near 4 or 5 degrees across the GTA with quite a bit of sunshine over the next couple of days. And it does not look like a white Christmas. Looking ahead to the long range forecast, we could even see some showers on Christmas Day. Your guaranteed high today, -4.
Mix of sun and cloud in downtown Toronto, -5. Pearson feels like -10.
This extended forecast is brought to you by AEG Cooking. It's time to up your game. Spice up your kitchen and save 15% on all AEG cooking appliances, dishwashers, and steam ovens until December 31st. Visit ELA.ca.
Coming up at 3, West 401 at Whites Road and the Collectors, all lanes open again following a lengthy police investigation into a drive-by shooting overnight. The details at 3.
680 News Time, 2:54.
I've been doing this for over 25 years, and every response is different. From Nova Scotia, New Brunswick, the High River floods in Alberta, the flooding at the Forks in Winnipeg, to Ottawa, and then local responses. When people see the Red Shield, there's trust, but also the fact that we provide hope for them.
When disaster strikes, Major Roxina Hayden is there because everyone needs an army. Donate now at salvationarmy.ca or call 1-800-SAL-ARMY.
When you need to know. Breaking news. A major political bombshell on the campaign trail.
Traffic.
FTO still has cleaned us up, and it's jammed from approaching Major Mackenzie to approaching Steeles as people avoid getting flat tires. Weather.
You don't need any rain gear this morning, but through the afternoon, make sure you have that umbrella handy.
When you need to know.
We're here.
This is 680 News.
Now we'll look at what's happening in the GTA. Here's Cecilia Robertson.
Loud Luxury playing at Rebel. The show starts at 10. The Cinesphere is showing Die Hard. Film rolls at 7:30.
We still haven't tried raspberry duff, lady duff, under control duff.
And 12 Beers of the Holidays is happening at the Gladstone Hotel. Tickets start at $30. Colin Robertson, 680 News. 680 News Time, 2:55.
Calling all CAA members. You can earn 20% more Petro points when you link your Petro Points card to your CAA membership card. Don't forget, you can also exchange your Petro Points for CAA dollars, which can be redeemed towards your CAA membership renewal, gifting a membership, booking a vacation with CAA Travel, purchasing movie and attraction tickets, and more. Visit caasco.com/PetroPoints and start earning more today.
Hey Nissan, I'm
Forgot.
looking to decorate
The
my
back of
home
this
this
one
holiday season. Can you help me do it
It's
in
the
style?
Canadarm
I have
2.
a gift for you. Right now, lease the 2019 Nissan Kicks from $259 monthly and get a set of no-charge winter tires. With the Kicks' bold two-color combinations, you can add some design to your driveway. I'm feeling festive already. Don't wait. Get your gift before January 2nd. Visit choosenissan.ca or your Nissan dealer. 60 months at 2.9% zero down. Limited tire quantities. Conditions apply. 680 News Time, 2:56.
Now the 680 News Business Report. Here's Richard Southern.
Hey, Flagana will soon be connecting to an iSatellite. Apple reportedly has a secret team working on satellites that could one day beam data right
Satellites and
to your
glasses.
iPhone or your iWatch or what have you. Bloomberg News is reporting this. They say the company has been ramping up hiring on this secret project to use satellite technology that could beam internet services directly to Apple devices, bypassing wireless networks on the ground. Or it could link devices together without a traditional network. It can also be used to improve location tracking. Bloomberg says it's not yet clear if Apple intends to put satellites into orbit itself, or whether or not it will use some of the existing satellite networks already in place. This is something Amazon is working on as well. They're talking about putting 3,000 satellites in orbit, and Elon Musk as well on this space internet bandwagon. We're looking at some strength for the likes of Apple here this afternoon. A lot of strength overall, while broader markets hitting record highs amid the U.S.-China trade war truce. We've had some better than expected economic news as of late, easing those recession fears. So things looking pretty good as we get
Oh
to
yes,
enter
all my
the
fears are
holiday
eased. Very
interrupted
much
trade week
eased,
that's
buddy.
coming up. The TSX
Holy.
right now is up 61 points.
Thank God the stockbrokers are getting paid.
17,125. Top performer, BlackBerry, believe it or not. jumping 11%, $8.52, thanks to better than expected third quarter results from that company. But here's a Disney moving higher. Have you heard about the little movie Disney has out this weekend? Star Wars? Critics didn't like it, but audiences will probably flock to see it nonetheless. And Disney stock is up 0.5%, 146 bucks. Dow's up 138 points, 28,515. There's a new high for the Dow. S&P up 17, NASDAQ up 43. Canadian dollar down almost a quarter cent to 75.99 cents US. Hang tight, top stories just seconds away on 680 News.
Don't know what to get them for the holidays?
A fidget spinner? Really? I birthed your 3 children, and you get me a glow-in-the-dark fidget spinner?
How about better sleep from Sleep Country? Hurry into the Boxing Week sale and get the gift of better sleep. Plus, get amazing prices on sleep essentials like duvets, pillows, sheets, and more. And get a Hot Buy Queen mattress with temperature control, just $369. Hurry in store or online because it's on now. Sleep Country, all for sleep.
It's your December Casino Rama Resort concert announcement. Honeymoon Suite at Prism, February 28th. Chilliwack and Streetheart on March 13th. Frankie Valley, March 21st and 22nd. April 10th and 11th with the Beach Boys. Melissa Etheridge, April 17th. Local legend Gordon Lightfoot performs April 18th. Illusionist Rick Thomas, April 24th. Charlie Pride on April 25th. And Ringo Starr and his all-star band, May 29th and 30th. Buy tickets now through Ticketmaster. More information at CasinoRama.com.
Now, 680 News regional weather conditions for Walmart.
With Walmart's guaranteed unbeatable low prices, save $1.90 on an 18-pack of Gray Ridge large eggs, now $2.77. Walmart, save money, live better. Oshawa mainly clear, -6 degrees. In Caledon, partly cloudy, -7. Downtown Toronto, partly cloudy, and a wind chill rating of -9. 680 News time, 3 o'clock.
Number 1 for breaking news, traffic, and weather. This is 680 News, Toronto.
Here are James Monroe and Slijana Tominzik.
Good afternoon, it's Friday, December 20th.
Here's what's making news right now.
After an 11-hour closure, still no answers from the OPP about an early morning shooting on the westbound 401 near Whites Road.
How many shots and where these rounds all ended up?
An appeal for witnesses after a horrific home invasion
into the road,
last
buddy.
week. York police releasing images of a 59-year-old victim attacked in the middle of the day by 2 people.
He's
It's
looking at
crunch
that
time,
now.
only 5 shopping days to go until Christmas, and today is expected to be the busiest shopping day of the year.
Leafs and Rangers tonight for Madison Square Garden, and the shorthanded Raptors welcome in Washington. Sports at 15.
All right, decade about to come to a close. You know what the best performing investment of the last 10 years was? We'll tell you in business at 26.
680 News time, 3:01.
Traffic and weather together on the ones at your rock.
Thank you, James. This report is brought to you by 407 ETR. So in case you missed it, the westbound 401 collector lanes have reopened at Whites Road. They were closed earlier because of a police investigation for several hours. You'll hear the details in just a few moments about that. Still got some residual volume through the Pickering area on the westbound 401 as you approach Brock Road, but it should clear soon. And then it's slow from Kennedy and the collectors, Warden in the Express to west of Avenue, Allen off and on Express and collectors to west of Dixon, and approaching here Ontario to west of Mavis. Eastbound 401, some good news. The construction crews filling potholes at the 407 have now cleared, but it's still slow from approaching Guelph line to Trafalgar, Winston Churchill to here Ontario, 427 to the 400 Express and collectors, Allen alternating Express and collectors to Leslie, approaching Warden to east of Kennedy and the collectors, and then it slows in the Durham region through Salem and from the 412 to Brock Street. If you're traveling south on the 400, south of King Road, the right lane blocked because of a stalled vehicle. It's slow from King Road, and then south of Shepherd, we've still got this problem blocking the left lane. It is slow approaching the 401. Southbound 404 DVP combo, slow from south of Finch down to York Mills. The westbound Gardner delays from the DVP to west of Dufferin, and the ramp to Lakeshore at last check partially blocked because of a crash. That's approaching Park Lawn off of the westbound Gardner. Westbound QEW, slow from west of the 427 to west of Cawthron, from Ford Drive to the 403 ramp off and on. And we just got word from a traffic spotter. 40 rebound QEW just beyond Jordan Road. There's a truck on fire through the area. We're not sure which lanes are blocked. If you can give us an update, it's a free call. Star 680 on your cell phone. Northbound 427, slow from Gardner and the Express and from Bloor and the Collectors up to Burnhamthorpe. Eastbound QEW delays from Burloak to east of 3rd and from Winston Churchill to Mississauga Road. Eastbound Gardner, slow from Park Lawn to Parkside through Jameson. And we've got that construction from York to the DVP. It's down to 2 lanes because of road work. 407 ETR, traffic experts study driving patterns all year round to ensure a smooth ride 365 days a year. Visit 407etr.com. Your next report is at 3:11, and at the forecast we say good afternoon, Natasha Ramsahai.
Oh, good afternoon, Asher. A lot of people have smiles on their faces because of that nice sun that's out there. Just some high, thin cloud. That is going to thicken up overnight tonight as we sleep. We're down to a low of -6. Now, if you're out through eastern Durham tomorrow, this is Oshawa over towards Curtis. Even Bowmanville and Newcastle could run into a few morning flurries. Otherwise, it's a cloudy start to Saturday. We'll see that sun return in the afternoon with a high near 2 degrees. We're going to stay dry until midweek next week. Tonight, we're down to a low of -6 degrees. It is -5 at Pearson right now, wind chill -10.
680 News Time, 3:04.
Another troubling story of bullets flying on our major highways. 3 people injured, 1 critically after a drive-by shooting on the 401 in Pickering in the wee hours of the morning. It led to an 11-hour closure.
680's Mark Douglas joins us live now from the scene near Whites Road. Mark.
This Legenda, the traffic is flowing normally again, thank goodness. The highway was reopened about half an hour after the victim's car was loaded onto an OPP trailer at about 2 o'clock and then hauled off for further examination. But the OPP still have more questions than answers when it comes to how and why someone shot at that vehicle.
I can't comment either way, whether this was a random act or if this was a targeted shooting.
Sergeant there has no information to say about what was told to 680 News from police sources, that this shooting may be connected to a bar fight not far from here. Schmidt says investigators were going up and down hundreds of meters of the 401 searching for clues. One thing they need to know is exactly how many bullets were fired.
Yeah, I don't know how many. That's what our emergency response team members right now are combing the area, looking for evidence and trying to determine how many shots. And
you need a method scrap collector to go up and down that road.
They did find some evidence on the highway, but he's still not ready to say if the car was shot in the spot it was found at about 3:30 this morning, or was it moving when the bullets were flying. 1 man suffered serious injuries and is still in hospital. 2 other victims took minor injuries. They've already been released from hospital. This portion of the westbound highway was closed for about 11 hours for this investigation. Live beside the 401 at Whites Road in Pickering, I'm Mark Douglas.
680 News Time, 3:05. York Regional Police have released horrifying images of a woman brutalized in her own home in an invasion in Vaughan last week. They hope to catch her attackers, who police say may have gone to the wrong house. Here's 680's Stuart McGill.
It's not often you see photos of a victim released, but York police say they felt it necessary just to illustrate how violent this completely random attack was.
We need to get these suspects in custody as quickly as possible. We're appealing for anyone that might have any information, anyone who may have been driving in the area.
Last Wednesday, the attack on the 59-year-old woman began as she answered the door to her home on Glenbury Drive in the middle of the day, only to be beaten with a handgun, thrown into a bathroom while 2 robbers searched her home, making off with cash and jewelry.
She was home alone at the time. She answered the door when she heard a knock. 2 suspects forced their way inside and began violently assaulting her, hitting her in the face with a handgun.
Constable Annie Patton says there's no known connection between the suspects and the victim. The woman suffering serious injuries, including a concussion, multiple broken bones in her face and ankle, and police are now asking witnesses to come forward. I'm Stuart McGinn.
680 News Time, 3:07. An update now on the residents displaced by a deadly fire at a high-rise on Gosford Boulevard last month. The city says 26 apartment units have been cleared for immediate reoccupancy, just in time for the holidays. The city is expecting more units will be cleared and become available in the coming days and weeks. Last night, Mayor Tory revealed that a shipment of doors was delivered to 235 Gosford, marking a significant step in the repairs being made. 700 residents were forced from their homes when a fire ravaged the upper floors of the building on November 15th. 1 person died in that fire.
Chief of Police holding a year-end news conference at headquarters this morning. Mark Saunders proud of his officers, but admits more work needs to be done. Says 2020 will have a community-centric approach and see the rise in police body cams and new shift schedules. He's also asking for help.
We are requesting 341 net new officers to help us move to a more proactive policing and enforcement model. The new hires will replace those that retire or depart and will be assigned to priority response, traffic, and neighborhood community officer programs.
Saunders also reminded the public of the work on guns and gangs, as well as wrapping up the Bruce McArthur case.
This portion of the news brought to you by Toys R Us. If you like being around people, go to the mall today. With only 5 days until Christmas now, the cash registers are ringing, and 680's Mom McCrushy is braving the crowds at the Eaton Center.
Some people are walking through the doors of the Eaton Center just getting ready to start their Christmas shopping, but Helen is wrapping it up, buying some last-minute items. And when it comes to gift giving, this grandmother is the queen.
I actually sent my one son and granddaughter to Disney on points this year. I did a lot of stuff on points. Points are big.
Did you send your grandkids to Disney?
I paid for their flights to Florida.
If that's not grandmother of the year, I don't know what is.
They should be happy. Oh, I hope they don't see this.
Don't worry, your secret is safe with us. Monera says the busiest hour today already passed at 2 o'clock, at which point they were processing 625 transactions per second. At the Eaton Center, I'm Momin Qureshi.
Coming up in 30 seconds, latest problems on the streets. We'll check in.
680 News Time 309.
From our family to yours,
Merry Christmas.
this is 680 News.
Happy holidays, everyone! It's Megan, Chief Play Officer at Toys R Us. Have you ever seen 20,000 toys all in one place? At Toys R Us, you'll find anything and everything that kids like me could wish for. Right now, you can buy one, get one 50% off on all regular price toys in store. Plus, find great half-price daily deals all week long. Some exceptions apply. And did you know we have toy experts to help you pick out the perfect present that will make your kids squeal with joy? So visit your closest Toys R Us store.
City streets. Paved is down to single lane both ways from Danforth to Cosburn for water main upgrades, and in Caledon eastbound Old School roadblock.
Fixing that water main for like
also
3
blocks
years.
southbound at the intersection. Now, 680 News gas price update. Enpro predicts the price will not change at midnight. It's about $1.17.9 a liter. Coming up in 60 seconds. Traffic and weather together. 680 News Time 310.
The season of one-horse open sleighs has got a lot more powerful. Now experience the exhilaration of controlling a whole stable under your hood. And with Lexus's December to Remember event, there's never been a better time to get behind the wheel of a Lexus. Lease a 2020 Lexus NX300 for as low as 1.9% APR with delivery credits up to $1,500. Visit LexusGTA.ca or your Toronto area Lexus dealer.
Obstacles and mortgages go together like first dates and spaghetti. Especially if you've been through a bankruptcy, consumer proposal, or debt settlement. Remember the name Duga. Jaspreet Duga and his team have options for you. Alternative mortgages, private mortgages. Jaspreet Duga works for you, not the lenders. So you get the best terms and rates. Get started today at dugamortgages.ca. That's DHUGGA mortgages.ca. And tear down those obstacles. License 12880.
This report is brought to you by Marquee Jewelers. Eastbound 401, our problems at the 407 have now cleared, but there's still residual volume after that pothole crew took up those lanes for most of the afternoon. It's slow from approaching Guelph Line to Trafalgar, Winston Churchill to here, Ontario, 427 to the 400 expressing collectors, Allen alternating expressing collectors to Leslie, slows again through Scarborough from approaching Warden to east of Kennedy in the collectors, and then delays from Salem off and on to Brock Street in the Whitby area. Eastbound 409 at last check, very slow from Highway 27 to the 401. Westbound 401, our problems in Pickering have now cleared. We had the collector lanes at White's closed for several hours because of a police investigation, and the good news is it looks like the westbound 401 is moving very well through Pickering, both express and collectors, but it does slow in Scarborough from McCowan, alternating express and collectors all the way to Dixon, and then from approaching here Ontario to west of Mavis. We just got word from a traffic spotter. If you're headed west on the 407, just west of Dufferin, there's some debris in the left lanes. We're going to give 407 control a call in just a few moments.
Specify
Move over
what
to the
kind
right
of
if you
debris.
can, just a heads up. If you're traveling south
Scrap
on the
metal,
400
lumber,
south
what?
of King Road, the right lane
Asbestos?
is blocked by a stalled vehicle. It's slow from King Road. Southbound 404 DVP delays from south of Finch down to York Mills. Westbound Gardner slow from the Don Valley Parkway to west of Dufferin, and then on the westbound QEW slow from the 427 to west of here to Ontario from Ford Drive off and onto the 403 ramp. And a heads-up 40 rebound on the QEW just beyond Jordan Road. We're told the right lane, possibly more, affected by a truck fire. And another traffic spotter telling us the Toronto-bound QEW, apparently you're being forced off at 7th Street as a result of this truck fire. So keep that in mind. Eastbound QEW slow from Walkers to east of Appleby. The ramp to 3rd currently blocked by another vehicle fire. It's slow from Bronte, and then another delay from Winston Churchill to Mississauga Road. Eastbound Gardner slow from Park Lawn to Parkside. Jameson, another delay through Jameson, rather. And then when you're headed north on the DVP, it's slow right now from Dundas to north of Lawrence, and the northbound 404 delays from the 407 to 16th Avenue. The holidays have arrived at Marquee Jewelers. Get up to 70% off select merchandise for that special someone in your life. 2 Bloor Street West inside the Cumberland Terrace. Next report at 3:21 with the forecast. Meteorologist Natasha Ramsey.
Okay, staying dry until midweek next week. In fact, overnight tonight down to just -6. We can handle that. Increasing clouds. So it is going to be overcast as you wake up in the morning. Slight chance for flurries up through eastern Durham off the lake. Otherwise, we'll get back into the sun late in the afternoon. Tomorrow's the winter solstice, by the way. 2 degrees the high, and mainly sunny skies for Sunday with a high near 4, even milder for Monday. Tonight we're down to a low of -6 degrees. It is now -4 out at Pearson, current wind chill -10. 680 News Time, 3:13.
Now, Scotia iTrade Market Minute at the Business Center. Happy Friday, Richard.
Yeah, and I'll tell you who has the Friday feeling, James. It's the Bulls. We're looking at records not only for Wall Street, but for the Toronto stock market as well. The TSX up 59 points at 17,123. We close here. It's a record. Dow's up 122 at 28,500. A nice round record number there. S&P's up 19. The NASDAQ gains 34 points. Canadian dollar backing off a bit, down almost a quarter cent to 75.99 cents US. This is 680 News.
Direct invest with Scotia iTrade. Get up to $1,500 cash and $6.99 pricing, or up to 500 free equity trades. Details at scotiaitrade.com/winter20.
The accolades continue for Don Alfonso 1890 Toronto. The esteemed restaurant has been named the 2nd best Italian restaurant in the world by 50 Top Italy.
Hi, I'm Nick DiDonato, president of Liberty Entertainment Group, and I want to
You're
congratulate the 3-star Michelin chefs,
That's what
Alfonso
you are.
Iaccarino, and the entire team at Don Alfonso for receiving such an incredible international honor. We look forward to continuing to provide exceptional dining experiences here in Toronto.
To find out more, visit DonAlfonsoToronto.com.
The Maserati of Oakville and Ontario Grand Finale event is on now. For a limited time, take advantage of incredible offers on new 2019 models, including a 0% finance rate and a 1.95% lease rate on the Maserati Ghibli SQ4. Plus, as an added bonus, take advantage of up to $25,000 savings on select 2018 in-stock
They just
models.
open that
Act
road.
fast
Maybe they'll tell
before
us.
it's too late. Choose the road less ordinary by visiting Maserati of Oakville or Maserati of Ontario today. On approved credit, offer expires December 31st. See dealer for details.
This is All News Radio, 680 News. Few clouds in downtown Toronto, -4. Pearson feels like -10. Good afternoon from the 680 News Broadcast Center. I'm James Monroe.
I'm Jill Janice in Music. Here are the top stories right now.
Little pre-Christmas cheer for residents displaced by that deadly fire at a high-rise on Gosford Boulevard last month. The city says it has given clearance to 26 apartment units for immediate re-occupancy just in time for the holidays. More units will be cleared to become available in the coming days and weeks. Traffic alert westbound 401 collector lanes have now reopened at White's after an 11-hour police investigation. Full traffic and weather in seconds.
Time for 680 Sports from Sportsnet 590 The Fan. Here is Alex Sixero.
And Flagella Maple Leafs head coach Sheldon Keefe says his guys have to be really smart with the puck tonight.
We think there's going to be opportunities there for us offensively, but at the same time, they're doing a lot of great things offensively themselves, so we've got to do a great job. They're defending and how we take care of the puck and how we break out of our zone is going to be important, so we don't spend much time at our own end.
And Toronto opening a back-to-back tonight on the road against the New York Rangers. That'll go at 7 on Sportsnet 590 The Fan, and Sportsnet lineup stays the same. Meanwhile, the Raptors have become the walking wounded. However, Fred VanVleet has a chance to return tonight when Toronto shoots for 4 in a row. They're home to the Washington Wizards
starts at 7:30. Back to the ice, and the Pittsburgh Penguins have gone 10-4-3 without Sidney Crosby. They're in Edmonton tonight facing McDavid and the Oilers. Sportsnet 1 will have that at 9. And the Cowboys are not listing quarterback Dak Prescott on the injury report. He's been dealing with a sprained AC joint, but will start on Sunday against the Eagles. Sports at 15 and 45 past every hour, or anytime on the home of Tim and Sid, now on TV and radio. Sportsnet 590 The Fan. 680 News Time 3:18.
And now, a message from Vistaprint. This is a cow. The cow that made the milk that was made into the cheese that made Tober Dairy Farm into the talk of the craft fair. But cheese only lasts so long. The impression a small business like Tober Dairy Farm makes can last much longer, with the right business card to back it up. That's why Vistaprint is offering 500 truly personalized business cards, starting at $9.99. That's 500 cards with exactly the look you want for just $9.99. Plug your information and logo into hundreds of fresh
This is
designs
introducing our new look. And in French it says Voici notre nouveau look. In English, look. The fuck?
The choice is yours.
I wish it'd be better if you didn't try. Serious.
Not cow farm it over. Get 500 business cards starting at $9.99 at Vistaprint.ca with promo code 3131. That's promo code
That's like
3131.
a violation of the law in Canada too. And it's not
Vistaprint,
correct.
own the now.
680 News Time 3:18.
14 people, including 13 boys between the ages of 12 and 17, face charges related to bullying, assaults, and thefts from students at a North Oshawa high school. This constable tells 680 News police began keeping a closer eye on Maxwell Heights Secondary in early December.
Well, this was after, I guess, a couple of complainants from the ranging from educators to students that attended the school or taught at the school. And after receiving that information, our investigators did do a project.
The boys are current and former students. One of the students is also charged. 10-year-old boy being called a hero after saving his friend from drowning in Lake Ontario last night. Hamilton police say it happened just after 6:30. The pair were walking on the docks near Hamilton Bay Sailing Club when one of them fell in the water. The situation was quickly resolved by officers who happened to be in the area at the time. Police say the boy was nearly submerged when they got to him, and his friend was refusing to let go. Both were looked at by paramedics and sent home without injuries. And hundreds have been arrested in the second biggest organized crime bust in Italian history.
Italian military police have arrested more than 300 politicians, officials, and others suspected of belonging to the vicious Calabrian crime group known as the 'Ndrangheta. Authorities say it was the second biggest mafia bust ever in Italy. Some 2,500 officers took part in raids in and around the Calabrian city of Vibo Valentia. The operation revealed a secret 'Ndrangheta phrase dating back to 17th century knights that prospective mobsters have to repeat in order to become fully fledged crime bosses. Megan Williams, ABC News, Rome.
You're not going to tell us what it was?
680 News Time
Motherfuckers.
3:20. A romantic dinner for two or feast with family and friends. Make
Google,
this
how do
New
I
Year's
become
Eve a night to remember
a
at
Calabrian
La Castile.
mobster?
Ring in 2020 with prime-aged charcoal broiled steaks and succulent seafood paired with La Castile's remarkable wine.
Damn it, they know I'm going to look it up
Finish your
soon.
evening in the piano lounge with live entertainment and the world's finest selection of champagnes and spirits. Book now for New Year's Eve. La Castile, minutes from Sherway Gardens on Dundas, west of the 427. Reservations recommended. Visit lacastile.com.
I'm here with Bill Coy of Coy Brothers, and we're wishing you a Kubota Christmas.
If Jack Frost is nipping at your nose, you should climb into a heated cab of a Kubota tractor.
Can I roast chestnuts in there, Bill?
I don't recommend that. Kubota tractor cabs are luxurious and more spacious than the competition. With big windows and standard rear defogger and defogging climate control, they have better visibility too.
So I'm offering this simple phrase. Get your Kubota tractor from the Snow Pros at Coy
It's not the
Bros.
phrase I want.
KOLivebros.com.
680 News Time 3:21.
Traffic and weather together on the ones at Asher Broad.
This report is brought to you by TSC. So we've got an issue right now on the eastbound QEW. The ramp to 3rd is blocked because of a pretty serious vehicle fire. You're going to find it jammed up on the eastbound QEW from Walkers to east of Appleby, and then from Bronte to approaching 3rd, where this, again, the ramp is blocked. Slows again from Winston Churchill over to Mississauga Road. Eastbound Gardner delays from Park Lawn to Parkside, and then another slowdown through Jameson Davison. If you're headed north on the DVP, it's slow from Dundas to north of Lawrence, and then the northbound 404 slows from the 407 to 16th Avenue. Northbound 400 north of Mapleview up in the Barrie area. There's a left lane blocked because of road work. You'll find delays through that area. Just a heads up as you approach that split off to Highway 11. Eastbound 401 delays from approaching Guelph line to Trafalgar, Winston Churchill to Huron, Ontario, 427 to the 400 Express and Collectors, Allen alternating Express and Collectors to Leslie, approaching Warden to east of Kennedy and the Collectors, and then from Salem off and onto Brock Street. Eastbound 409 is slow from Highway 27 to the 401. Westbound 401, our earlier issue in the collector lanes at White's has now cleared. It opened up about half an hour ago, but there's still a residual problem because of that issue. The Liverpool ramp to the westbound 401, actually it was closed. It looks like it just reopened moments ago. Westbound 401 is then slow from McCowan alternating Express and Collectors to Dixon, from west of the 410 and the Collectors to west of Mavis, and from the 407 to west of Trafalgar. If you are headed north on the 410, a heads up, you'll find it slow from Steeles to Queen. Northbound 427 delays from the Gardiner and the Express, and from Bloor and the Collectors to Burnhamthorpe, and from approaching Rexdale to Finch. Combat aging and nourish any skin type with Elizabeth Grant's Customer Favorites collection. Get this great gift item at a special price tomorrow at TSC. Shop tsc.ca. Next report is at 3:31, and with the extended forecast, here's meteorologist Natasha Ramsahai.
Okay, it looks pretty good here going into the extended forecast, at least travel-wise and shopping-wise, because it's staying dry here. Overnight, we increase the cloud cover down to a low of -6. It is going to be overcast as you wake up tomorrow morning. It's one of those hard-to-get-out-of-bed days because it's going to be so gloomy, but the sun comes back out in the afternoon with a high of 2. Maybe sunny Sunday and 4 degrees, a mix of sun and cloud on Monday, and 6 degrees, and both Christmas Eve and Christmas look to stay dry. It will be overcast, but temperatures about 3 degrees for both days. Tonight, we're dropping to a low of -6 degrees. It is now -4 at a Pearson current wind chill -10.
Coming up at the bottom of the hour, some happy holiday news for those displaced by deadly fire at a high rise in Gosford last month. The city says it has given clearance to 26 apartment units for immediate reoccupancy just time for the holidays. The latest straight ahead.
680 News Time, 3:24.
Welcome to Valet by Park and Fly, the easiest and quickest way to park by the airport. Just pull up, check in, and go. A real thing of beauty for travelers. With Valet by Park and Fly, we get your car so you don't have to. A nice surprise at the end of a trip. It's like telling your team no parties while you're gone and coming home to a house that's cleaner than you left it. It's almost too surprising. Valet by Park and Fly, the easiest and quickest way to park happy. Plus, get an optional detailing while you're away. Visit parkandfly.ca for details.
Another busy weekend in the city. What you need to know all weekend long.
This is 680 News. Christmas news next. This is 680 News.
Hey, Nissan. Now, I may have overindulged on the sweets this holiday season, but I think I have room for one more treat.
That's perfect because we've got a real treat for you this Boxing Week. Right now on select models like Rogue, Qashqai, or Kicks, get an additional $1,000 bonus cash. It's like having your cake and eating it too.
Please, no more cake. I can't.
Get your sweet Boxing Week bonus by January 2nd. Visit choosenissan.ca or your Nissan dealer. Conditions apply.
If I told you there are as many as 2,000 homeless youth in our city each night, would you care?
What if I told you most of them have suffered from abuse and neglect? Then would you care? What if I told you many feel safer on the streets than they do at home? Then would you care? What if I told you I really need your help?
How young do they need to be before you care? Donate $8 a month to Covenant House Toronto and provide homeless kids with a warm bed, hot meal, and a better future. Visit covenanthousetoronto.ca to donate.
25 minutes past each hour, brought to you by the Illusionists, magic of the holiday.
I mean, kids and Santa are adorable, but so are dogs with Santa. And that's exactly what's happening at a bunch of PetSmart locations across the country tomorrow and Sunday.
We did a pet poll. We found about 46% of pet owners want to include their pet in a family formal photo. So who would want a cute photo of Santa Claus for their family and friends?
That's Janessa Oldfort with PetSmart Canada. And it's not just dogs and cats welcome.
So every year we've seen cats, dogs, we see multiple different kinds of reptiles. We've seen geckos, I've seen snakes come into the store, we've seen ferrets, guinea pigs, all sorts of types.
And they also have their pet wish dolls, $5 each, 10% goes to PetSmart charities. I'm Jeff Ho-Ho-Homan.
Christmas news at 25 minutes past every hour on 680 News. 680 News time 326.
Now, 680 Business Report. Look, it's Richard Southern.
So, James, you used to be a business reporter here. You got a great mind for business, and this is a really cool question. What was the best performing asset of the past 10 years? Best investment of the decade? Any guesses, Jamie, what that could be?
Was it pumpkins? You're supposed to sell them before Halloween.
Not pumpkins, James.
What was it?
Bitcoin.
Oh, I was going to say that.
Would you believe Bitcoin? They say if you put $1 in Bitcoin on January 1st, 2010, you'd have 90 grand today. If we had a time machine, we could go back and do that. Bitcoin's even well off its high of the decade. It hit a high of some 20,000 2 years ago. It's now at 7,200 US, but still best performing asset of the past 10 years. Bitcoin does remain highly speculative, but more retailers are accepting it as a form of payment, and many big investment firms and exchanges are launching futures trading, helping to legitimize Bitcoin. You can't have the best without the worst. What were the worst performing assets of the past 10 years? One of them was Kraft Heinz, stock down 56% of the past 10 years. Top two, though, are a lot of commodity-related stocks, actually. Freeport Mac brand down 68% over the past 10 years, and Apache down 78%. So there's the best and the worst in the past 10 years. Things looking pretty good here today. TSX is up 59 points, record high at 17,123, with financial stocks looking good. We got BlackBerry up 11% on strong earnings. Wall Street also set for a record finish with the Dow up 115 at 28,492. S&P 500 up 17 points, NASDAQ up 36. Canadian dollars down at 75.99 cents US. Your need-to-know top stories are just seconds away. Please keep it here on 680 News.
The 407 ETR Express on 680 News with Kevin Sack, VP Marketing and Communications. Kevin, what can drivers expect in the future on Highway 407 ETR?
It's been an amazing 20 years since the highway started operations as a toll road run as a public-private partnership. The relationship meant Ontario taxpayers did not pay for the expansion and extension of the highway, as tolls cover all the costs of constructing the highway, policing, maintenance, and snow removal, as well as 24/7 monitoring of the highway. We're also developing an app to help drivers plan their trips, get information about road conditions faster, and know more about the benefits they are achieving by using the toll road. Our expansions of the highway also mean that by the end of summer next year, the highway will have reached almost 90% of the maximum number of lanes we can build on the roadway. Even as traffic grows, and it's always busiest in the summer, we are committed to keeping the driving experience excellent and trip times reliable.
For more information, visit 407etr.com.
Vancouver light rain and a high of 8. St. John's light snow and a high of -2. In downtown Toronto, we have a few clouds, -4, feels like -10. 680 News time, 3:30.
Number one for news in Toronto. This is 680 News.
Here are Sledgena Dominzik and James Monroe.
All I know is everybody's upset about traffic today.
This is Friday, the 20th of December.
Here's what's making news right now.
Home for Christmas, more than 24 units at 235 Gosford have been cleared for reoccupancy following last month's deadly fire.
It's crunch time, only 5 shopping days to go until Christmas, and today is expected to be the busiest shopping day of the year.
After an 11-hour closure on the 401 at Whites Road.
Walk back hundreds of meters on the highway looking for any possible evidence.
The OPP are still investigating an early morning shooting.
Well, we do have a lot going on tonight. Maple Leafs on the road in New York. Raptors will host Bradley Beal and the Wiz. Sports at 45.
Half an hour ahead of the bell, and it looks like record highs for the TSX and for Wall Street. Business at 56.
Record highs, yes.
680 News time, 3:31.
Traffic and weather together on the ones. Now with the latest, here's Asher Rock.
This report is brought to you by Serpa.ca. We've still got this issue on the eastbound QEW, the ramp to 3rd line. Now is a left lane blocked because of a fire investigation. You're going to find it slow right now from Walker's line over to the approaching 3rd line, and then it slows again from Winston Churchill to Mississauga Road. Continuing along on the eastbound Gardner, delays from Park Lawn to Parkside, another slowdown through Jameson, and then on the northbound Don Valley Parkway, it's slow from Dundas up to north of Lawrence. Northbound 404 delays from the 407 up to 16th Avenue. Eastbound 401 a delay approaching Guelph Line, approaching Highway 25 to here, Ontario. 427 alternating Express and Collectors to Leslie from the Don Valley Parkway to Victoria Park, and the Express approaching Warden to east of Kennedy in the Collectors. And we've got a new issue approaching Meadowvale in the Express. The left lane is blocked because of a crash. Tows are at the scene. You'll find delays in the Express lanes from Morningside.
By the way, all the tow truck drivers
region from Salem off and on to Brock Street. Eastbound 409 is also slow from Highway 27 to the 401. Westbound 401 pretty slow across the city from McCowan, alternating Express and Collectors to Dixon, and then it slows again from west of the 410 and the Collectors to west of Mavis, and from the 407 to west of Trafalgar. Southbound 400 south of King Road, the right lane is blocked because of a stalled vehicle. Still slow from King Road. Southbound 404 DVP delays from south of Finch to York Mills. Westbound Gardner slow from the Don Valley Parkway to west of Strawn, and from Parkside to the 427. Westbound QEW delays from the 427 to west of Huron, Ontario, from the Ford plant to 3rd, from Bronte to the 403 ramp. Westbound 403 west of Huron, Ontario, right lane's blocked because of a crash. You'll find it slow from west of the 410 in the Collectors. Is your vehicle making a funny noise? Get it checked at serpa.ca. All brands, all models, serpa.ca. Any car, anytime, anywhere. Your next report is at 3:41, and with the forecast, here's meteorologist Natasha Ramsahai.
All right, fantastic sunshine out there right now. We're down to a minus 6 degrees tonight, just a slight wind chill of -9. If you're waking up early tomorrow morning, it is going to be overcast to start on Saturday. We'll get into more sun in the afternoon, and also in the morning, we may see a few lake effect flurries out through eastern Durham. This is going to be places like Oshawa and Bowmanville. We'll keep an eye on that. Overnight tonight, increasing cloud down to -6. It is currently -4 degrees at Pearson.
680 News Time, 3:33.
Just in time for Christmas, some of the residents displaced by last month's deadly fire at 235 Gosford Boulevard get to go home. The City of Toronto is giving clearance for the reoccupation of 26 units of the high-rise immediately. About 700 people were forced out of the building following the fire on November 15th.
City expects more units will be cleared and become available in the coming days and weeks. There's still no official word on the cause of the 5-alarm fire that started in an 8th-floor apartment, claimed the life of one man. Preliminary reports say the fire did not look suspicious. The Ontario Fire Marshal's office has narrowed the source of the fire down to one of the 2 bedrooms in the unit.
This is 680 News. Christmas is right around the corner, but many people still haven't finished shopping for their gifts. And that's why today's believed to be the busiest shopping day of the year. 680's Moment Crushy is taking in all the hustle and bustle at the Eaton Centre.
This is the busiest shopping day of the year, with Monera saying at its peak they'll be processing 625 transactions per second. Now, Jaden is here with a lot of gifts left to buy, so it's best not to get in her way because she is ready to do battle.
Well, I feel pressure because, if someone's going to get something that I want when, everybody's shopping at the same time. So, yeah, I feel pressure.
So you come in with your elbows up, ready to go?
Yeah.
She's actually a delightful person who says she does most of her shopping online and then comes to the mall to finish up the list.
60%, because I feel like I can get exactly what I want on, the time I want, and it delivers it to my house like that, so.
So you just save last minute stuff for the mall?
Yeah.
After today, there are only 4 shopping days left. Good luck at the Eaton Centre. I'm Moment Qureshi. 680 News Time, 3:35. A lengthy police investigation into a drive-by shooting has finally wrapped up after hours and hours, but one person remains in hospital. 680's Mark Douglas is at the scene and joins us live with the latest. Mark.
James, the OPP loaded the victim's car onto a trailer to be taken away for further examination, and only then could the westbound 401 here at White's Road reopen in the Collector's side about 11 hours after this early morning shooting. Sergeant Kerry Schmidt confirming 3 people were hurt.
There's one male in hospital currently with serious injuries. There was another male and a female. They both sustained relatively minor injuries. They've both been treated for their injuries and have been released from hospital.
Schmidt had no comment about reports of a person from that car getting out and running away down the highway in fear. Neither can he comment on information given to our newsroom that this early morning shooting might have started as a bar fight not too far away. This closure of the 401 lasting again for about 11 hours. Schmidt says they only had this one chance to gather all the clues they could off this incredibly busy stretch of highway.
The officers and the emergency response team members have walked back hundreds of meters on the highway looking for any possible evidence, and there certainly is evidence being captured and collected.
Schmidt still cannot say, though, if this was a random shooting or targeted. Live beside the 401 at Whites Road in Pickering, I'm Mark Douglas.
We have an update from Queen's Park now on the province's decision to scrap Hamilton's LRT project. Ontario's Auditor General says she'll be investigating the reasonableness of government cost estimates of the project. This is going to be part of a larger audit. Her office says that they're already conducting on the province's regional transit agency, Metrolinx. The Progressive Conservatives said earlier this week the project's price tag had ballooned from $1 billion to $5.5 billion, leading the government to cancel it altogether. The government said Tuesday it will not be releasing a third-party study it used to justify scrapping the project. Stay with 680 News for the latest on this developing story.
I want to tell us nothing.
37. Toronto's chief of police is focusing on the future at his year-end press conference today. Mark Saunders says that 2019 was a transitional year and admits there were many challenges, including a rise in gun violence.
Year to date, we've seen an increase in gun and gang activity in our city, and this speaks to the need for both intelligence-led policing and working with our communities and government partners to address the root causes of this type of activity.
Some of those measures include more body cams and police collecting data based on race and focusing on community-centric policing.
This is 680 News. Durham police have made more than a dozen arrests related to a street gang whose members were bullying and stealing from students at an Oshawa high school. 13 current and former students of Maxwell Heights Secondary School are facing nearly 40 charges. The students range in age from 12 to 17. Constable George Tudos tells 680 News police formed a special investigative team earlier this month.
They used threats of violence. They stole smartphones, jewelry, and other personal possessions from the victims, and also threatened them that they not go to the police or to any school officials with any information.
One adult is also charged. Tudo says that person is the parent of one of the suspects. Traffic and weather together next.
A meteor set to collide with our west coast in mere minutes. What do we do? Not to worry, Governor. I will simply fly around the Earth fast enough to reverse our polarity and turn back time. Took her away.
He said street gang. What the fuck?
You've only taken 3 steps. Here I go. You're basically standing still. Can the Toka help innocent citizens breathe easier? Probably not. Find out why at thetokaonline.ca.
On city streets, emergency crews on the scene of a crash on Pottery Road between the Bayview Extension and Broadview. You can expect lane restrictions as well. And encounters a crash on Highway 10 at Old School Road, causing delays, a lot of delays, north and southbound. And the 680 News gas price update. Empro predicting the price will not change at midnight. We should stay at just under $1.18 a liter.
This is 680 News.
When businesses join forces with 680 News, it's the start of a beautiful friendship.
Hey, it's Sam from Best Brand Appliance. We are one of the largest premier appliance distributors in all of Canada for both retail and wholesale.
How long have you been advertising with 680?
We've been with 680 for about 4 or 5 years now. Business is fantastic thanks to 680. It's doing unbelievable.
How do you like working with your account manager at 680 News?
Dan's the man. He gives us some great creative ideas. Everyone that we've worked with so far at 680 has been unbelievable.
What type of response has Best Brand Appliance received from 680 News?
We got such a great response, and the foot traffic was huge. Our website traffic, once we started on 680, went up by 34%.
How has 680 News helped you achieve your advertising goals?
We're looking for a premium audience with a household income of a certain amount for what we do. We found that 680 had the exact demographic that our client is.
Would you recommend 680 News to others?
680 is definitely for you. You should be doing 680 without question.
Get 680 News working for you. Call 680 News Advertising at 416-935-NEWS.
680 News time, 3:41.
Traffic and weather together on the ones. Now here's Asher Roth.
Thank you, Slajana. This report is brought to you by Marks. If you are headed westbound on the 403, just west of here, Ontario, there are 2 right lanes blocked because of a crash. You'll find it jammed from the 410 in the collectors all the way to west of here, Ontario. Another delay west on the 403 through Mavis. Also on the eastbound QEW, the ramp to 3rd has a left lane still blocked because of a vehicle fire Emergency crews are at the scene. It's slow from Walkers and then slows again from Winston Churchill to Dixie. Eastbound Gardner delays from the Humber Bridge to Dufferin. And then when you head north on the Don Valley Parkway, it's slow right now from north of Gerrard up to the 401. And then the northbound 404 is slow from approaching the 407 to north of 16th Avenue. Northbound 400 slow from approaching Finch to Steeles and from Highway 7 to north of Teston. If you're headed south on the 400, still got this issue south of King Road. The right lane blocked because of a stalled vehicle, a delay through King Road as a result. Southbound 404 DBP slow from Finch to south of Lawrence and another delay approaching the Gardner. Westbound on the Gardner slow from the DVP to west of Strong, from Parkside to Royal York, from Kipling Express to the 427. Westbound slow from that 427 to west of Huron, Ontario. Appleby to the 403 ramp. And we've still got word from traffic spotters that we've got this issue around the Burlington Skyway. 40 rebound QEW, a truck fire in the right shoulder is causing delays. 40 rebound from approaching Victoria, and it's also affecting Toronto-bound traffic, jammed up from the 406 to 7th Street. So you may want to find an alternative if you can. At Mark's, Boxing Week starts early this Friday to Sunday. Take an extra 25% off store-wide. Shop Mark's early for the best selection, door crasher prices as marked. Your next report is at 3:51, and with the forecast, here's Natasha Ramsahai.
Okay, looking at increasing cloud here as we sleep tonight. Staying dry, though. Temperatures down to -6. Now, if you live out through Oshawa over towards Bowmanville and Newcastle, you may see a few morning flurries. Otherwise, it's just overcast to start here in the city of Toronto. More sun in the afternoon and a high near 2 degrees, and mainly sunny on Sunday. It's going to stay dry all weekend long with a high near 4 degrees. Tonight, we are down to a low of -6. It is now -4 degrees at Pearson. Current wind chill -10.
680 News Time, 3:43.
Now, the Scotia iTrade Market Minute to the Business Center. Here is Richard Southern.
All right, so yeah, coming up on the end of the trading day in 18 minutes or so. TSX looks like it's going to notch a record today. It's up 59 points at 17,123. Would you believe BlackBerry? Best performer, up more than 11% on strong earnings from that company that's managed to reinvent itself to a large extent. Wall Street also sitting at record highs. Dow's up 100 to 28,476. S&P gained 17 points, 0.5%, and the Nasdaq up 30. Price for gold down, but just a little bit less than $3 to the downside at $1,481. Canadian dollar drops to 76 cents on the nose. This is 680 News.
Direct invest with Scotia iTrade. Get up to $1,500 cash and $6.99 pricing, or up to 500 free equity trades. Details at ScotiaITrade.com/winter20.
Season of one whole sleigh has got a lot more powerful. Now experience the exhilaration of controlling a whole stable under your hood. And with Lexus's December to Remember event, there's never been a better time to get behind the wheel of a Lexus. Lease a 2020 Lexus RX 350 for as low as 2.9% APR with delivery credits up to $2,000. Visit LexusGTA.ca or your Toronto area Lexus dealer.
Don't know what to get them for the holidays?
A fidget spinner? Really? I birthed your 3 children, and you get me a glow-in-the-dark fidget spinner?
How about better sleep from Sleep Country? Hurry into the Boxing Week sale and give the gift of better sleep. Plus, get amazing prices on sleep essentials like duvets, pillows, sheets, and more. And get a Hot Buy Queen mattress with temperature control, just $369. Hurry in store or online because it's on now. Sleep Country, all for sleep.
This is All News Radio, 680 News.
Partly cloudy in downtown Toronto, a wind chill reading of -9 right now. Good afternoon from the 680 News Broadcast Center. I'm Sljana Tibinzik.
And I'm James Monroe. Here's what's making news right now.
Home for Christmas, the city of Toronto has cleared more than 24 units at Gosford Boulevard for reoccupancy, effective immediately. Last month's fire at the high-rise left 1 person dead and displaced hundreds of residents. The province's Auditor General is launching an investigation into the reasonableness of government costs following the Ford government's move to cancel Hamilton's LRT. And coming up after sports.
An appeal for witnesses after a horrific home invasion in Vaughan last week. York police releasing images of a 59-year-old victim attacked in the middle of the day by 2 people. Time now for 680 Sports from Sportsnet 590 fan. Alex Cicero. All right, James, it's their first meeting of the season. The Maple Leafs in New York to face the Rangers, where Freddie Anderson and Alexander Georgiev are the goaltenders. Toronto scoring 3.5 goals per game under Sheldon Keefe. That's the second highest output over that span in the NHL. Face off just after 7 on Sportsnet Ontario and Sportsnet 590 The Fan. While the Raptors now on pace to lose 249 man games to injury this season. That's a lot. Here's
All I
Michael
found
Grange
was
on Writers
people are
Block.
very upset on the internet about traffic today.
Kind of had them one after another. That wouldn't be the worst thing because someone needs a break. And I think Siakam.
I don't really fuck about the guy in the hospital. Why the fuck is the road closed?
There was a load. Like I think that he was learning how to manage the expectations and just the demands of having the ball in your hands, being looked to do something almost every possession, every game.
And the shorthanded Raptors will take on the Washington Wizards tonight. Tip-off from Scotiabank Arena, 7:30. And the Arizona Coyotes are calling goaltender Darcy Kemper week to week. He picked up a lower body injury last night against Minnesota. Sports at 15 and 45 past every hour or anytime on the home of Tim and Sid, now on TV and radio, Sportsnet 590 The Fan.
680 News Time, 347.
Husband? Check. Sister? Check. Mother-in-law? Check.
You've covered everyone on your gift list already?
In record time, too. Found it all in one place at tsc.ca.
Wow, what did you get?
This Sneg hand blender for my sister, Bose Bluetooth audio sunglasses for my guy, and a Thomas Sabo watch for his mom.
Nice.
And with all the exclusive offers at TSC, I can treat myself to something special.
Ooh, maybe that cute Brian Bailey tunic.
Everyone's going to be happy this year.
Give the gift of joy this season. Visit tsc.ca, today's shopping choice. Celebrate the holiday magic this December at Casa Loma during a Nutcracker Christmas at the Castle. Enjoy a host of exciting family activities and performances, including illusionist Professor Wick, Glees on Ice, plus visit Santa's workshop for your photo with Santa and more. The Castle will be dazzling with festive decor and a 40-foot signature tree. And from December 16th to 30th, you can also explore Casa Loma by night as you wander through the lighting display in the gardens. Info and tickets at casaloma.ca.
680 News Time, 348. In an unusual move, York Regional Police have released pictures of the injuries suffered by a woman following a home invasion earlier this month in Vaughan. They're hoping the move will help them in their search for suspects. 680 Stuart McGinn is following the story.
York police call it a brutally violent, brazen robbery.
You can see these photos that we have released suffering from very significant injuries.
The 59-year-old woman beaten by 2 suspects who left her with a broken nose, jaw, ankle, and a concussion, having to spend multiple days in hospital. Constable Andy Patton tells me all this happened last Wednesday in the middle of the day at her home in Vaughan.
She was home alone at the time. She answered the door when she heard a knock. 2 suspects forced their way inside and began violently assaulting her, hitting her in the face with a handgun.
Investigators believe the attack was completely random, possibly even carried out on the wrong house. There's no known connection between the suspects and the victim. Police say the suspects are a black man and woman wearing all black, while the man was carrying a handgun, both of them believed to be armed and dangerous. I'm Stuart McGinn.
Apparently.
680 News Time, 349. France has fined Google $166 million for abusing ad dominance.
France's competition authority says tech mogul mistreated buyers of ads based on keywords. The methods used by the Google Ads platform being opaque and difficult to understand, it says, with the company applying them in an unequal and arbitrary way. It wants the rules for Google Ads clarified and also its procedures for freezing accounts to avoid what it refers to as brutal and unjustified suspensions. The $166 million figure is the latest in a string of European fines against Google, which faces very little competition for search engine business across the continent. I'm Charles Ledesma.
Traffic and weather together next. 680 News Time, 350.
And now, a message from Vistaprint. This is a cow. The cow that made the milk that was made into the cheese that made Cobra
Google
Dairy
could
Farm
just make
into the
Europe
coconut
disappear
crop
out of
But
the
cheese
internet.
only lasts so long.
They
The
shouldn't
impression
fuck
a small
around.
business like Cobra Dairy Farm makes can last much longer, with the right business card to back it up. That's why Vistaprint is offering 500 truly
Sorry,
personalized
Dave, does
business
not
cards
exist.
starting at $9.99. That's 500 cards with exactly the look you want for just $9.99. Plug your information and logo into hundreds of fresh designs tailored to your type of company, or upload your own original layout. Pick from paper styles like matte, glossy, or uncoated. You can even upgrade to a unique touch like rounded corners. The
In
choice is
plain,
yours. The time
uncoded.
is
What the
now.
fuck?
I said now, not cow farm it over.
Regular ass
Get
paper.
business cards starting at $9.99 at Vistaprint.ca with promo code 3131. That's promo code 3131 at checkout on Vistaprint.ca. Vistaprint, own the now.
680 News Time 351, traffic and weather together on the ones. Here's Asher Rock.
This report is brought to you by Leon's Furniture. Well, I didn't get to the 401 in my last report, so let's start with that right now. Basically, very slow all across the city. Westbound 401, slow from approaching McCowan, alternating Express and Collectors to Dixon, 427 to Dixie and the Collectors, 410 Express and Collectors to Mavis, and then approaching Winston Churchill to west of Trafalgar. Eastbound 401, slow from the Kelso Conservation Area to James Snow Parkway, Winston Churchill to Mavis, Dixie alternating Express and Collectors over to Kennedy. Approaching Meadowvale in the Express, we've got 2 left lanes blocked because of a crash. You'll find it slow from Morningside in the Express, but the Collectors are moving all right. Another delay through the Durham region from east of Westney to east of Salem. If you're traveling west on the 403, our crash west of Huron, Ontario is cleared, but there's another one now west of Mavis. HOV lanes blocked because of a crash. It's slow from the 410 in the Collectors. Northbound 410, speaking of that, slow from approaching Steeles to Williams Parkway. Toronto-bound QEW, we've still got this issue as a result of the problems on the 40 rebound side. It's beyond Jordan Road. So 40 rebound QEW is slow from approaching Victoria, and the Toronto-bound QEW is slow from the 406 to approaching Jordan Road. Now, we got word from the MTO that there's a crash there, but I believe it's just residual issues from the problems on the 40 rebound side. So just a heads up, QEW not fun right now on the other side of the Skyway. Eastbound QEW, the ramp to 3rd, we've still got the right lane blocked because of a vehicle fire cleanup. It's slow from Walkers to approaching 3rd, and then from Winston Churchill to Dixie. Eastbound Gardner delays from the Humber Bridge to Dufferin, and then on the northbound DVP, you'll find it slow from north of Gerrard to the 401, and the northbound 404 is slow approaching the 407 to north of 16th. Southbound 404 DVP slow from Finch to south of Lawrence, and then it slows again approaching the Gardner. Westbound Gardner is slow from the DVP to west of Strawn, from Parkside to Royal York, and from Kipling Express and Collectors to the 427. If you're headed west on the QEW, slow from the 427 to west of Huron, Ontario. Trafalgar to 3rd, and from Appleby to the 403 ramp. If you're headed east on the 403, it's slow right now from the QEW to east of Dundas. Northbound 427, slow from Dundas to north of Burnhamthorpe in the Express. North of the 409 to Finch. Southbound 427, slow from south of the airport, south of Airport Road to south of the 401. And from Dundas in the Express to the QEW ramp. Don't wait for Boxing Day. Shop now at Leon's and get Boxing Day prices on all major appliances and electronics in-store and online. Visit leons.ca for details. Your next report is at 4:01 with Kyle Hawking with the extended forecast. Here's Natasha Ramsahai.
Okay, not so bad here. We're going to stay dry until midweek next week. Temperatures are also on the rise. Tonight we're down to -6, feeling like -9. We're going to thicken up the cloud cover. So when we wake up tomorrow morning, it is overcast. Could even see a few flurries out through Oshawa over to Newcastle. Otherwise, we'll get back into that sunshine through the afternoon. Tomorrow's the winter solstice. We're getting up to 2 degrees. Mainly sunny Sunday and 4 degrees. A mix of sun and cloud Monday and 6 degrees. And although it will be overcast for Christmas Eve and Christmas Day, it should stay dry for travel and highs near 3 degrees both days. Tonight we're down to a low of -6. It is currently -4 degrees at Pearson, current wind chill -10.
Coming up at 4, good news in time for Christmas. Some of the residents displaced by last month's deadly fire at 235 Gosford are being allowed to move back in. The details coming up at the top of the hour. 680 News Time 3:54.
Me and this F-150, we are in it for the long haul.
Oh yeah? What about costs like insurance, maintenance, fuel?
It just won an award for lowest cost to own in its class, 5th year in a row.
Wow, sounds like you really love your truck.
Yeah.
Get the Ford F-150, the truck with the Vincentric Award for lowest cost to own in its class. Now during the Ford year-end event, get up to $10,500 in rebates on select new 2019 F-150 models. Get the truck that's built for the long haul. Visit your local Ford store or Ford.ca.
680 News, now part of your smart home. Hey Google, play 680 News.
Playing 680 News. Hamilton police are crediting a 10-year-old boy with helping save his friend from drowning. Just before 6:30 last night, 2 boys were on the docks on the east side of the Hamilton-based sailing club when one of the boys slipped and fell into the water. The Hamilton Police Action Team was patrolling the area when they noticed a person in the water. That's when police located the boys. The one child was almost fully submerged with his friend holding on to him. Police moved quickly and pulled the child out of the water without any injuries. Business is next.
680 News Time, 3:55.
Does advertising with 680 News work? Well, things seem to be flowing well for Stan Cleany from Roto-Rooter Plumbing and Drain Service.
Things are going great. We've been so successful with our plumbing and draining part of the business, advertising on 680 News, we thought we'd advertise our new flood and sewer cleanup and restoration business.
And how is that working?
The phone's been ringing. We've seen a tremendous increase in our sales.
Speaking of sales, how do you like working with your account manager at 680 News?
He's helped us out in every avenue of the business. I should almost bring him on as an employee.
And how about all the writers and producers?
It's always difficult to get the message out to the public. The creative teams helped us out in many ways and helped us get to where we are today.
Well, it can't be easy to stay on top in today's competitive market.
Well, there's always competition, but we try to stay one step above them. The new advertising's working great, and we continue to be number one in the number two business. 680 News has really helped us. We are definitely flushed with success.
Unclog your bottom line and clean up the competition with 680 News. Call 680 News Advertising at 416-935-NEWS. That's 416-935-NEWS.
680 News Time, 3:56.
Now the 680 News Business Report. Here's Richard Southern.
So I found this interesting. Alexa, Amazon's digital assistant. So Janet, it can help you with all sorts of things these days. You know, it can tell you what the temperature is. You can even, shameless plug, ask it to play 680 News and all that. Now you can even avoid a Christmas fight with the family using your Alexa. The Amazon virtual assistant has a new feature that's meant to help families stop bickering during the holidays by changing the subject. Alexa becomes a robot peacemaker programmed to bring up something inoffensive when the air gets a bit blue. All you have to say is, Alexa, change the subject. So I decided to give it a try. Change the subject.
Okay, we sure could use a little rain. That would be nice. Would you like to change the subject again?
Yes, I would.
Well, let's see. Around 270 people die in the series Breaking Bad. Boy, and I thought Game of Thrones was violent.
So at this point, I'm just angry at Alexa, I think. I don't know that that's helping any. Amazon actually did research, and they found out that relatives are most prone to argue at 6:30 p.m. on Christmas Day. So you can actually program it to jump in unprompted at 6:30 with some of those inane comments. Amazon stock is lower by 0.25%, $1,789. Not much to argue about if you're long the market. We have the TSX set to close at a record high here in a matter of minutes. It's up 54 points at 17,118. Financial stocks looking good. Got a little bit of strength for some of the cannabis names today. On Wall Street, Dow's up 95 points. Going to be a record for the blue chips at 28,476. S&P up 16. NASDAQ up 38. Boosting the move just continues to be, the truce on the U.S.-China trade front and a bit of the Santa Claus rally ahead of Christmas. BlackBerry stock taking off, up almost $1 at $8.60 on better than expected third quarter earnings. Time now for the Express Gold Refining XAU.ca gold price update. Yellow metal down $3, $1,481. Canadian dollar moving a bit lower. It's down to 76 cents U.S. Top stories, traffic and weather. It's all just 60 seconds from now on 680 News.
This is your Air Transat flight attendant. Our Kids Club features a dedicated check-in counter, in-flight goodies, priority baggage handling, and a giraffe. Ask your parents, sweetie. Air Transat. Vacation is calling.
The Maserati of Ontario and Oakville Grand Finale event is on now. For a limited time, take advantage of incredible offers on new 2019 models, including a 0% finance rate and a 1.95% lease rate on the Maserati Ghibli SQ4. Plus, as an added bonus, take advantage of the $25,000 savings on select 2018 in-stock models. Act fast before it's too late. Choose the road less ordinary by visiting Maserati of Ontario or Maserati of Oakville today. On approved credit, offer expires December 31st. See dealer for details.
This is your Air Transat flight attendant, inviting all passengers to fly with their own personal celebrity chef. Treat yourself on all our flights to our gourmet menu by Danielle Vezina. Air Transat. Vacation is calling.
Now, 680 News regional weather conditions for Walmart.
Starting Saturday, Walmart is opening all checkouts from 11 a.m. to 7 p.m. every day until Christmas. Save time on your holiday shop as you check out Walmart's unbeatable low prices. In Mississauga, partly cloudy, -5 degrees. Caledon, partly cloudy and -7. Oshawa, mainly clear, -5 degrees. Downtown Toronto, a few clouds and a wind chill reading of -9. 680 News time, 4 o'clock.
For breaking news, traffic, and weather, this is 680 News, Toronto.
Here are James Monroe and Slijana Tominzik.
Good afternoon. It is Friday, December 20th.
Here's what's making news this hour.
Home for the holidays. Some weary displaced residents of 235 Gosford Boulevard got some good news today. We'll have that story for you straight ahead.
With the clock ticking towards Christmas, we've arrived at the busiest shopping day of the year, with the peak expected this afternoon, so you can expect some crowds at the malls.
The OPP kept part of the 401 at Whites Road closed for 11 hours as they looked into early morning gunfire on the highway.
Anytime there's a shooting, obviously that's a pretty frightening experience.
Maple Leafs are on Broadway tonight, and the injury-riddled Raptors try to take down the Wizards. Sports at 15.
There's the closing bell. By the finish, record closes for the TSX, Dow, S&P, and NASDAQ. Business at 26.
680 News Time 401.
Traffic and weather.
Record highs, he said.
This
Record
report
highs,
to
he
by
said.
Rogers Wireless, who still got problems on the eastbound 401 approaching Meadowvale and the Express. Two left lanes are blocked for the crash. So as you travel through this stretch, it gets busy from approaching Morningside, both Express and Collectors, over to Meadowvale. Heavier in the Express, though, where the problems are. Although it does start to slow first in the Collectors, so that's kind of tricky to navigate. Stay in the Collector lanes, though, through here. The remainder of the East 401 just bogged down with volume from east of Guelph line to Trafalgar, Winston Churchill to Mavis. Already a long lineup from the 410 in the Collectors to the South 427 ramp. City is busy approaching the 427 alternately Express and Collectors to Kennedy. Then you'll come about those problems near Meadowvale Express. And then we've got volume in Durham region, west to east of Salem. No problems on the West 401, but it's already fairly slow across the city. Had two problems on the westbound 403, one near here, Ontario, one west of Mavis. They both cleared. It's jammed up 410 in the Collectors to west of Mavis, though. If you're traveling the west Gardner QE out of downtown, and often on delays, DVP to the 427 with some gaps in there. It's a busy 427 west if you're Ontario. Trafalgar to about 3rd, and Appleby to the 403 ramp. The eastbound QEW, that ramp to 3rd line still has the right lane blocked out of the vehicle fire cleanup. Through here, it's busy Walkers to east of 3rd, and then Winston Churchill to Dixie. On the southbound 400 approaching Shepherd, we have a stalled transport in the 3rd lane from the left, so one of the center lanes heavy through here, Finch down to the 401 ramps. This Boxing Week at Rogers, buy a Samsung Galaxy S10 and get a Galaxy S10e when you activate 2 lines on select 2-year plans. Plus, get Galaxy Buds free while supplies last. Your next report at 4:11, and with the forecast, here's meteorologist Natasha Ramsahai.
All right, we've got some nice dry conditions here for last-minute shoppers and travelers. Overnight tonight, increase in cloud. We're down to -6, a slight wind chill of -9 in the morning. Could see a few lake effect flurries out through Oshawa, Bowmanville, and Newcastle early tomorrow morning. Otherwise, rest of the city is cloudy to start, sunny to end, and a high of 2 degrees. Overnight tonight, we're dropping to a low of -6 degrees. It is now -4 degrees at Pearson with a wind chill of -10.
680 News Time 403.
Some of the 700 residents displaced by last month's fire at 235 Gosford Boulevard will be home for the holidays. The city's given clearance to about 26 apartment units for immediate reoccupancy and expects more units to be cleared and become available in the coming days and weeks.
At a holiday dinner held for residents last night, Mayor John Tory says he's heard the frustration and the voices of many residents who are temporarily living in hotels and looking for answers. There is still no official word on the cause of the 5-alarm blaze that started in an 8th-floor apartment unit, which claimed the life of one man. Preliminary reports say the fire did not look suspicious. The Ontario Fire Marshal's office has narrowed the source of the fire down to one of the 2 bedrooms in the unit.
680 News Time 404. It's the most wonderful time of the year if you have all your holiday shopping done. If not, you may be running around like a junior chicken. 680's Moma Qureshi joins us from the Eaton Center, what's believed to be the busiest shopping day of the year.
You can see people here at the mall are clearly at different stages of their Christmas shopping. Some are carrying 7 or 8 bags, having made some good progress on their list. And then there's people like Brendan who are just getting started, and he's kicking himself not only because it's the busiest shopping day of the year, but because he works right next door. He could have got all this done a lot sooner.
I had 360 days within 400 meters to get this done. But yeah, I'm here.
You have chosen the busiest shopping day of the year to do it.
Chosen the busiest shopping day of the year because I just wait till the last minute. I'm a guy.
I mean, it's not last minute. It's 5 days. Still lots of time.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I thought. It's not the 24th, so that's good.
Monera says at today's peak, they will be processing 625 transactions a second. At the Eaton Center, I'm Moma Qureshi.
680 News Time, 4:05. The province's Auditor General is getting involved following the government's snap decision to cancel Hamilton's LRT line. 680's Richard Southern joins us live with the latest on today's announcement. Richard.
Indeed, Slugana Bonnie Lysyk, the Auditor General of the province, said she's going to investigate the government cost estimates of Hamilton's now scrapped light rail line. Ford government earlier in the week said it would no longer be providing $1 billion to fund the project, effectively killing that LRT. The reason it gave was that the price tag had ballooned from $1 billion to $5.5 billion. Though it turned out that that was the cost estimate over 30 years. Government said it wouldn't release the third-party study it used to justify scrapping the project. NDP leader Andrea Horwath was the one who wrote the Auditor General, asking her to investigate the costs. Then again, that's going to happen now. Reporting live, Richard Southern, 680 News.
The Sports of the News brought to you by Toys R Us. More than 11 hours. That's how long a portion of the 401 was closed in Pickering today, following a drive-by shooting on the highway near Whites Road. 680's Mark Douglas at St. John's Live tells one person remains in hospital. Mark.
That's right, James. 3 people were hurt in this latest shooting on a 400 series highway. OPP Sergeant Kerry Schmidt says one male went to hospital with serious injuries, another male and a female not as badly hurt.
Anytime there's a shooting, obviously that's a pretty frightening experience, no matter how close or far away it is. I guess the only good news I can tell you is that those 2 victims have been treated and released from hospitals, so the injuries must have been very minor in nature.
Now, the car the victims were in was eventually loaded onto an OPP trailer to be taken away for a closer examination. The driver's window was shattered by gunfire. This part of the highway did not reopen until about 11 hours after this 3:20 a.m. shooting. Investigators had to search hundreds of meters of the westbound 401 collector lanes.
They have been searching the highway all the way back from the next exit, looking for evidence. Evidence has been located. We're going to continue to document that, capture all that information.
Together
if this occurred right here where the vehicle came to its rest, or whether or not the vehicles were in motion.
Schmidt cannot say yet whether this was targeted shooting or something random, and he could not comment on information to our newsroom that this all might have begun with a bar fight. Reporting live from Whites Road at the 401, I'm Mark Douglas.
680 News Time, 4:07. York Regional Police are hoping the release of graphic images of a woman attacked in Vaughan last week will help them arrest the 2 suspects wanted. 680 Stuart McGinn joins us with the latest on the investigation into this home invasion.
The graphic photos of the victim up at 680news.com. York police say they took the step of releasing the photos for 2 reasons. 1, to show just how brutal the attack was, and 2, to stress how serious it is that these suspects are still on the loose.
Clearly, they're violent individuals capable of doing this kind of harm to somebody in our community.
The man and woman both described as black, wearing all black. The man carrying a handgun. Constable Andy Pattenden says it's that gun that's believed to have been used to beat the 59-year-old woman after she answered a knock on her door last week in the middle of the day.
The victim suffered 2 broken orbital bones, a broken nose, broken jaw, sprained thumb, broken ankle, and concussion.
The suspects making off with cash and jewelry, but police are saying they believe they actually robbed the wrong house. There's no known connection between them and the victim. The appeal now on for witnesses, and police continue to hunt for the 2 suspects who they say are armed and dangerous. I'm Stuart McGinn.
And in his year-end news conference at police headquarters, Chief Mark Saunders says his officers need to evolve.
When you go to a gun show and you buy a gun or multiple guns, a Glock for $400 in the States, and you cross the border, it becomes $4,000. There's just too much money involved, and people are utilizing that because the demand is going to be there.
Saunders says the focus will be slowing the flow of guns into the city, and police will take a community-centric approach in 2020. Coming up in 30 seconds, latest problems on the streets, we'll track guests.
680 News Time, 4:09.
This is 680 News.
Happy holidays, everyone! It's Megan, Chief Play Officer at Toys R Us. Have you ever seen 20,000 toys all in one place? At Toys R Us, you'll find anything and everything that kids like me could wish for. Right now, you can buy one, get one 50% off on all regular price toys in store. Plus, find great half-price daily deals all week long. Some exceptions apply. And did you know we have toy experts to help you pick out the perfect present that will make your kids squeal with joy? So visit your closest Toys R Us store.
City Street's Pottery Road closed both ways from Broadview to Bayview because of a crash, and Commissioners Street is closed both ways from Munition to Don Roadway for long-term construction. Now, 680 News gas price update. Enpro predicts the price will increase a cent at midnight to about $1.18 98.9. Coming up in 60 seconds, traffic and weather together.
680 News Time, 410.
The holidays are coming faster than Santa's sleigh. They'll be here before you know it. If you want to pay down some bills and simplify things heading into the new year, and even free up some money for the holidays, consider a consolidation loan from PrudentFinancial.net. Use the equity in your car or home to borrow up to $35,000 the same day. Go to PrudentFinancial.net and apply today. Wishing you and yours a magical holiday season. PrudentFinancial.net.
Me and this F-150, we are in it for the long haul.
Oh, yeah? What about costs like insurance, maintenance, fuel?
No problem. It just won an award for lowest cost to own in its class, 5th year in a row.
Wow, sounds like you really love your truck.
Yeah.
Get the Ford F-150, the truck with the Centric Award for lowest cost to own in its class. Now during the 4th year, get $10,500 in rebates on select new 2019 F-150 models. Get the best built for the long haul. Visit your local Ford store or Ford.ca.
680 News Time, 411.
Traffic weather together on the ones
This report brought to you by Nikon Canada. We've got problems on the eastbound 401 still approaching Meadowvale in the express. 2 left lanes are blocked with this crash, so it is heavy with volume through this stretch. First of all, it's busy east of Guelph line to the 407, Winston Churchill to Mavis, and then from the 410 in the collectors to the south 427 ramp. Across the city, volume approaching the 427 alternately express and collectors to Kennedy, and then because of that Meadowvale issue, it starts to slow approaching Morningside, both express and collectors over to Meadowvale, although it's lighter in the collectors through there. We've got volume then into Durham region west to east of Salem. The westbound 401 busy McCowan, alternately express and collectors to Dixon. There's a lineup south of the airport, 410 to Dixie in the collectors, and then from the 410 express and collectors to about Mavis. Also volume approaching Winston Churchill to west of Trafalgar. Issue on the southbound 400, still transport approaching Shepherd. Was in the center lane, now 3 left lanes have been blocked off as they work on getting this hooked up to a tow. And there it goes. It's moving slowly away, so we'll watch for them to reopen these lanes any moment now. But this collision on the, or rather still in transport in the south 400, things backed up Finch down to the 401 ramps past this issue, though. Volume as well if you're traveling out of downtown. The westbound Gardner busy DVP to west of Strawn, Parkside to the 427 and on to the QEW to west of Huron, Ontario. Not bad by the Ford plant, but then west QE delays approaching Appleby to the 403 ramp. There is still an issue on the eastbound QEW, the ramp to third line, as the right lane blocked on it with vehicle fire cleanup. Not much of a delay on that ramp, though. And if you're on the North Don Valley, that's busy approaching Bloor to the 401, with a 404 delay north of Steeles to north of 16th Avenue. Need gift ideas for the holidays? How about a Nikon DSLR camera or lenses? Right now, save up to $800 during the Capture the Savings event at your local Nikon authorized dealer. Your next report at 4:21, and with the forecast, here's meteorologist Natasha Ramsahai.
Yeah, temperatures warming up here as we go through the weekend. Even overnight tonight, because we have increasing cloud, it's going to hold us at about -6 degrees. A slight wind chill of -9 in the morning, waking up to overcast conditions. Could even see some lake effect flurries with that east-southeast wind. This is over towards Oshawa and Bowmanville. That's early tomorrow morning. Rest of the GTA is dry. We get into late day sunshine with a high of 2, and mainly sunny skies continue on Sunday, a dry day with a high of 4 degrees. Tonight, we're dropping to -6 degrees for the low. Right now out at Toronto Pearson, just getting that temperature for you, it is -5 degrees, current wind chill -10.
680 News Time, 413.
Now, Scotia iTrade Market Minute to the Business Center. Richie.
How about this? What a year it's been for the Toronto stock market, James. Best year since 2009, and it keeps getting better. TSX up 54 points today, closing at another fresh record high, 17,118. It's up 19.5% on the year. There's been a lot of ugly years as of late for the TSX. This one not looking too bad. Again, up 19.5% year to date. Wall Street just keeps on going. Dow up 78 points, a record at 28,455. S&P up 16, a record at 3221. NASDAQ Composite up 37 points today. Canadian dollar down a tad to 76.01 cents US. This is 680 News.
Direct invest with Scotia iTrade. Get up to $1,500 cash and $6.99 pricing, or up to 500 free equity trades. Details at scotiaitrade.com/winter20.
Here's to Toronto, to the early risers, to the commuters, to the go-getters. Here's to the innovators, the trendsetters, and the people that believe. Here's to downtown, midtown, and uptown. Here's to those that work hard every day. Here's to the many that never accept second best. Memphis.
On the 12th day of springtime, this is what I see. We spend over 250 hours on screens during the holidays. So HP now has 250 hours of printable activities for the family to get you off the screen. Print the holidays with HP. Visit hp.com/getreal.
This is All News Radio, 680 News. The clouds in downtown Toronto and -5 at Pearson. Feels like -10. Good afternoon from the 680 News Broadcast Center. I'm James Monroe.
I'm Sljana Tibbins. Here are the top stories right now.
A little pre-Christmas present for residents displaced by that deadly fire at a high-rise on Gosford Boulevard last month. The city says it has given clearance to 26 apartment units for immediate re-occupancy just in time for the holidays.
Today is the busiest shopping day of the year, so we're mixing it up with the masses at the Eden Center.
Ontario's Auditor General has launched an investigation following the province's snap decision to cancel Hamilton's LRT line.
For these stories and more, go to 680news.com.
Time now for 680 Sports. From Sportsnet 590 The Fan, it's Alex. All right, James, the Maple Leafs have opened the scoring in 5 straight games, and Mitch Marner says, hey, that is no coincidence.
Starting with the puck a lot of times, and I think when we get it, we're not rushing plays, we're not trying to rush into the zone. I think we're making the right plays, trying to find the right opportunity to strike, and we haven't missed when we've done it.
And head coach Sheldon Keefe going with an unchanged lineup tonight on the road against the Rangers. Sportsnet 590 and Sportsnet will have it at 7. Meanwhile, the Raptors could use a bit of good news. Fred VanVleet has a chance to return tonight when the shorthanded Raps take on Bradley Beal and the Wizards. Tip-off 7:30 from Scotiabank Arena. Well, the NBA really wants to implement an in-season tournament, and according to Adrian Wojnarowski, the league is thinking about giving the winning players of said tournament $1 million each. Pool play would open the tourney before an 8-game single elimination format that would wrap up in mid-December. We could see that as early as winter 2021. Pittsburgh Steelers wide receiver Juju Smith-Schuster not on the injury report, so he will return this weekend when the Steelers take on the New York Jets. Sports at 15 and 45 past every hour or anytime on the home of Tim and Sid, now on TV and radio, Sportsnet 590 The Fan. 680 News Time, 4:18.
Cold symptoms coming at you? Take Dayquil Complete and put your cold symptoms out cold!
Dayquil Complete, the coughing, aching, congested chest, stuffy head, power through your day medicine. To ensure this product is right for you, always read and follow the label. Keep out of reach of children.
Year after year, the Alta Group of Infinity dealers has won awards for customer satisfaction. They've also won awards for the number of Infinities they've sold. If you're shopping or need to service your vehicle, go that customers are pleased and the vehicles are plentiful. Alta Infinity Woodbridge, 400 Infinity Innisfil, Infinity of Brampton, Canada's #1 volume Infinity Group. Go to altagroup.ca.
Part of the Zankin Auto Group.
Cold symptoms coming at you? Take Dayquil Complete and put your cold symptoms out cold!
Dayquil Complete, the coughing, aching, congested chest, stuffy head, power through your day medicine. To ensure this product is right for you, always read and follow the label. Keep out of reach of children.
680 News Time, 4:18.
British prosecutors have charged the wife of an American diplomat over the death of a teen motorcyclist in a road accident.
U.S. citizen Ann Sakoulis, the wife of an American intelligence officer, been charged by UK authorities causing the death of 19-year-old motorcyclist Harry Dunn outside of a U.S. base in Britain last summer. For Dunn's parents,
We believed. And we've done it. We've got the charge.
I would never rested properly ever without being able to carry out that promise I made him when we lost him.
Sakoulis flew back to the U.S. claiming diplomatic immunity. A formal extradition request will now be made. Tom Rivers, ABC News, London.
And the Notre Dame Cathedral will not be celebrating Christmas this year for the first time since the French Revolution more than 2 centuries ago.
Notre Dame kept Christmas going even during 2 world wars, a beacon of hope amid the bloodshed. Yet an accidental fire on April 15 in peacetime finally stopped the cathedral from celebrating midnight mass this year as the lights stay dim in the once invisible 855-year-old landmark. Officials are trying hard to focus on the immediate immediate task of keeping burnt-out Notre Dame's spirit alive in exile through service, song and prayer. There's a temporary home pending the restoration works at another of Paris's Gothic churches, just under a mile away. I'm Charles Ledesma.
Coming up in 60 seconds, traffic and weather together. 6 News Time 420.
From the excitement of their first day to walking proudly across the graduation stage, school's the start of a journey that can take kids anywhere. Our education system needs to evolve to reflect this journey, to better prepare kids for the future and the jobs of the future. So we're making updates with a focus on positive mental health, technology, skilled trades, and math, so our kids are prepared to succeed every step of the way. Learn how the government is improving your child's educational journey at ontario.ca/education for tomorrow. Paid for by the Government of Ontario.
This Boxing Week at Rogers, you can unwrap more during the Wrapped in Red event. That means more of our greatest offers of the year, like buy one, get one, when you activate 2 lines for the Samsung Galaxy S10 and the Galaxy S10. Infinite data you can share when you get the most like Rogers Infinite plan. And more wireless with premium sound. When you get a pair of Samsung Galaxy Buds free, get twice the nice with Samsung BOGO and free Galaxy Buds. Quantities last during the Wrapped in Red event. On now at Rogers.
680 News Time 421.
Traffic and weather together on the ones, Kyle Hawkins.
This report brought to you by the Grand Hotel. We've got still this problem on the eastbound 401 through Meadowvale as you approach Meadowvale in the express. 2 left lanes remain blocked for the collision, so it is heavy through this stretch. You'll find volume almost filling in the whole way across the city. It was already busy approaching the 427 alternately express and collectors to about Kennedy. Now it starts to get busy again as you approach Markham Road, first in the collectors, and then again from about Morningside in the express over towards Meadowvale where the problems are. So the collectors begin to slow first, but once the express lanes slow east of Morningside, or east of Morningside, they get very heavy. So sort of pick your poison through here. If you're traveling west on the 401, it's busy Brimley, alternately express and collectors to about the 427, and then you'll find volume from west to the 410 express and collectors. Pretty well all the way to west of Trafalgar now, another minor delay west of Highway 25. It's busy on the eastbound QEW traveling toward downtown. We have this ramp issue, the East QE ramp to 3rd. Right lane still blocked with vehicle fire cleanup. Through here, busy walkers to east of 3rd, then approaching south down to Dixie. And the eastbound Gardner filling in as usual, busy from the Humber Bridge to about Cherry into that long-term construction zone, as well as south 404 down Valley delay Finch to south of Lawrence. And if you're traveling out of downtown, north down Valley 404, busy Bloor to the 401 and north of Steeles to 16th Avenue. It's busy 400 north Shepherd off and on up towards King Road with a couple of gaps in there. Also busy on the westbound Gardner DVP to west to Strawn and Parkside to the 427. On the 427 north delays north of the 409 to Finch. The 410 is slow approaching Steeles to Williams Parkway. Pottery Road currently closed from Bayview to Broadview. That's for a collision investigation and cleanup. Book your next meeting, event, or stay at the luxurious Grand Hotel Toronto and receive Aeroplan miles. Visit grandhoteltoronto.com because life is grand. Your next report at 4:31 with the extended forecast, meteorologist Natasha Ramsahai.
All right, temperatures tonight down to -6 degrees. So we're really dropping another couple of degrees from where we are now. We'll have a slight wind chill of -9 in the morning. Waking up to overcast conditions here in the city, even a slight chance for flurries over towards Oshawa and Bowmanville. But we're going to stay dry here in the city, and we will get back into that sun late tomorrow with a high of 2 degrees. Sunday, mainly sunny and 4. Monday, a mix of sun and cloud and 6 degrees. And overcast for both Christmas Eve on Tuesday and on Christmas Day. Highs of 3 degrees both days, but it does look like we will stay dry up until about Tuesday night into Wednesday morning. Could see some wet flurries. Overnight tonight, we're down to a low of -6 degrees. It is now -5 at Pearson with a wind chill of -10.
-27 at the bottom of the hour, a little pre-Christmas present for residents displaced by deadly fire at that high-rise in Gosford Boulevard last month. We'll tell you what it is straight ahead.
680 News Time 424.
One rose from the streets of Paris to become an international star. The other was a German aristocrat who became Hollywood's first glamour queen. Their private lives were as theatrical as their public performances. This new musical biography stars Louise Piet as Edith Piaf and Jane Lewis as Marlene Dietrich. Piaf Dietrich, now playing at the CAA Theater until January 5th. Tickets at mervish.com.
This is the station that gets you to your destination faster.
The most up-to-date traffic reports in this city are available every 10 minutes on 680 News.
Christmas news next. This is 680 News.
At Rogers, get business-grade internet solutions like Rogers Business Internet Pro Gigabit plus Office 365. Now just $119.99 a month on a 3-year term. Visit rogers.com/internet-for-biz.
You can make more.
Hey, Nissan, I'm looking to decorate my home this holiday season. Can you help me do it in style? Do I have a gift for you? Right now, lease the 2019 Nissan Kicks from $259 monthly and get a set of no-charge winter tires. With the Kicks' bold 2-color combinations, you can add some design to your driveway. I'm feeling festive already. Don't wait. Get your gift before January 2nd.
Visit choosenissan.ca or your Nissan dealer. 60 months at 2.9% zero down. Limited tire quantities. Conditions apply. At Rogers, get business-grade internet solutions like Rogers Business Internet Pro Gigabit plus Office 365. Now just $119.99 a month on a 3-year term. Visit rogers.com/internet-for-biz.
You can make
That's all Christmas news at 25 minutes past each hour, brought to you by the Scott Mission. It is the ugliest day of the year.
Christmas sweater.
It is officially Ugly Christmas Sweater Day, so pull out whatever holiday horror show you have hidden in the closet and throw it on.
Christmas news at 25 minutes past every hour
What the fuck is a shooting's dashboard?
Now, 680 Business Report, Richard Sutton.
Oh, hey, Jamie. Not a bad Friday here. Records all around, in particular for the Toronto stock market. You know, if you follow the market, you know, the last couple of years have not been very good at all. Bay Street's gotten beaten up the last few years. In a commodities crunch. Not the story this year. The TSX up 54 points today at a record 17,118. Taking its gain for the year to 19.5%. Best year since 2009. Cannabis stocks have certainly helped to some extent, although we did have the cannabis correction this year. The market's found some strength amid some of the tech names like Spotify. Today we had financials moving higher, some of the telecoms up as well. BlackBerry, best performer today, believe it or not, gaining more than 11% on the session to $8.57 on better than expected earnings for its third quarter. Wall Street keeps on hitting records. That's been the story for 10 years, though. The Dow up 78 points today at 28,455. S&P up 15 at a record 3221, and the NASDAQ up 31. Soon we can be maybe talking about iSatellites. Apple is reportedly has a secret team now working on satellites to beam data directly to your iPhone or your iWatch. Bloomberg News reports the company has been ramping up hiring to work on the satellite technology, which could be used to beam internet service directly to phones, bypassing the wireless networks on the ground. It could also link devices together without a traditional network, or help as well with more exact location tracking. Bloomberg says it's not clear if Apple intends to put its own satellites into space or if it will use the already existing infrastructure up there. Amazon also planning to do this, deploying thousands of satellites to bring internet to outer space. We had Apple stock little changed on the day today. Price for gold down $2, $1,481 the ounce. Canadian dollar drops to 76.02 cents US. Top story straight ahead on 680 News.
2001 Audio Video's Boxing Day sale is on now. All locations are jam-packed with wall-to-wall specials. From 4K smart TVs to the best in streaming and home audio. All on sale in 2001 for the absolute lowest price anywhere. Wrap up all your Christmas shopping at 2001. The home entertainment experts. 2001.
Hello, Alpine Credits.
Hi, I own my home. I need money.
Approved.
Well, thank you.
You're welcome.
I am getting you a gift.
Oh, no, you don't have to.
A cake.
No, really, no.
Maybe a plant, a nice fur.
No, please, you don't have to give me
a date with my cousin.
Absolutely not.
You're right.
Good.
She's probably out of your league.
Right. Wait, what?
At Alpine Credits, we try to
After
approve all
record
home
year
equity
in
loan
shooting,
applications,
Saunders
regardless
says
of your
Toronto
credit,
police
age,
will
or
be
income.
more
Find out
strategic
more at
on gangs and drug
alpinecredits.ca.
trade.
Alpine Credits. Homeowners get approved. Fiscal license 12616 and 12617.
Montreal partly cloudy and a high of -13. Ottawa clear -16. Winnipeg clouds -9. LA clear 11. Vegas clear 15. Chicago partly cloudy 5. Atlanta clouds 13. Orlando partly cloudy 23. Washington D.C. clear 5. Miami light rain 24. New York City partly cloudy 1. Boston clear and a high of -1. A few clouds in downtown Toronto, -5 in Pearson, and it feels like -10. It's 4:30.
News in Toronto. This is 680 News.
Here are Sledgehammer Tominzik and James Monroe. Good afternoon. This is Friday, December 20th.
Here's what's making news right now.
Home for the holidays. More than 24 units at 235 Gosford have been cleared for reoccupancy following last month's deadly fire.
It's crunch time. Only 5 shopping days to go until Christmas, and today is expected to be the busiest shopping day of the year.
After an 11-hour closure, still no answers from the OPP about an early morning shooting on the westbound 401 near Whites Road.
How many shots and where these rounds all ended up.
It is the front end of a back-to-back. Leafs take on the Rangers tonight. Raptors host Washington, and Chance Fred Van Vliet returns. Sports at 45.
Record close for the TSX and for Wall Street. And do you know what the best performing investment of the past decade was? We'll tell you in business at 50 cents.
680 News Time, 4:31.
Traffic and weather together on the one, brought to you by 407 ETR Airborne and Chopper 680. Here's Jordan Kern.
Well, it's a beautiful afternoon, but a really busy drive everywhere. On the eastbound 401, delays starting approaching 25 to the 407, then from Winston Churchill to Mavis, from the 410 Collectors to the South 427 ramp, then approaching the 427 to Victoria Park and the Express, to Kennedy and the Collectors, McCowan to East and Markham Road and the Collectors, and then we have issues on the East 401 at Meadowvale and the Express, left lane blocked by MTO Cruise, crash on the shoulder. It's backed up from Morningside in the Express, then delays through Salem. Eastbound 409 jammed approaching Martin Grove to the 401 ramps. From the 680 Traffic Center, Kyle Hawking.
Minor issue on the eastbound QEW ramp to third line. Right lane still blocked with vehicle fire cleanup on that ramp. No delay there. It is busy on the highway itself through third line. That's unrelated, though. That's a typical volume delay. And then we've got volume Winston Churchill to Dixie. And the heavy section on the eastbound Gardner is Humber Bridge, off and on to Cherry into that long-term construction. Westbound Gardner, slow DVP to west to Strawn and Parkside to the 427. Also out of downtown, DVP northbound is busy. Bloor to the 401 with a 404 delay from north of Steeles to north of 16th Avenue. Pottery Road is closed from Bayview to Broadview. That's because of a collision investigation. With 24/7 monitoring of 407 ETR's road conditions and crews on standby, you don't have to give up your safe and reliable drive this winter on 407 ETR. Your next report at 4:41, and with the forecast, here's meteorologist Natasha Ranzahai.
Oh, pretty calm conditions tonight, increasing cloud, down to a low of -6 degrees, a slight wind chill in the morning of -9. While it's going to stay dry across most of the GTA tomorrow, if you're out through Oshawa over to Newcastle and Bowmanville, could see some morning flurries. Otherwise, everyone gets into that sunshine late in the day with a high of 2 degrees. Tonight, we're dropping to -6 degrees for the low. It is now -5 at Pearson with a wind chill of -10.
680 News Time, 4:33.
Some of the residents displaced by last month's deadly fire at 235 Gosford Boulevard will get to return home for the holidays. The City of Toronto is giving clearance for the reoccupation of 26 units at the high-rise, and effective immediately. About 700 people were forced out of the building following the fire on November 15th.
The city expects more units will be cleared and become available in the coming days and weeks. There's still no official word on the cause of the 5-alarm fire that started in an 8th-floor apartment unit, which claimed the life of one man. Preliminary reports say the fire did not look suspicious. The Ontario Fire Marshal's office has narrowed the source of the fire down to one of the 2 bedrooms in the unit.
Here with All News Radio 680 News, it's 4:33. If you like being around people and navigating parked parking lots, go to the mall today. With only 5 days until Christmas, the cash registers are ringing, and 680's Moment Qureshi is braving the crowds at the Eaton Centre.
Some people are walking through the doors of the Eaton Centre just getting ready to start their Christmas shopping, but Helen is wrapping it up, buying some last-minute items. And when it comes to gift giving, this grandmother is the queen.
I actually sent my one son and granddaughter to Disney on points this year. Did a lot of stuff on points. Points are big.
Did you send your grandkids to Disney?
I paid for their flights to Florida.
If that's not grandmother of the year, I don't know what is.
They should be happy. Oh, I hope they don't see this.
Don't worry, your secret is safe with us. Monera says the busiest hour today already passed at 2 o'clock, at which point they were processing 625 transactions per second. At the Eaton Centre, I'm Moment Qureshi.
6 City News Time, 4:35. It's another troubling story of bullets flying on our major highways. 3 people injured, one seriously after a drive-by shooting on the 401 in Pickering in the wee hours of the morning. It led to an about 11-hour closure. 6 City's Mark Douglas joins us from the scene near Whites Road.
The highway was reopened after the victim's car was loaded onto an OPP trailer to be taken away for further examination. The closure lasted about 11 hours. The OPP still have more questions than answers after all that.
I can't comment either way, whether this was a random act or if this was a targeted shooting.
Sergeant Kerry Schmidt cannot comment on information given to our newsroom that this shooting might be connected to a bar fight not far away. One thing they need to know is exactly how many bullets were fired.
Yeah, I don't know how many. That's what our emergency response team members right now are combing the area, looking for evidence and trying to determine how many shots and where these rounds all ended up.
One man suffered serious injuries, 2 other victims taking minor injuries. From Whites Road and the 401 in Pickering, I'm Mark Douglas.
680 News Time, 4:35. York Regional Police have released horrifying images of a woman brutalized in a home invasion last week in Vaughan. They're hoping it will help them catch her attackers, who police say may have gone to the wrong house. 680 Stuart McGinn reports.
It's not often you see photos of a victim released, but York police say they felt it necessary just to illustrate how violent this completely random attack was.
We need to get these suspects in custody as quickly as possible. We're appealing for anyone that might have any information, anyone who may have been driving in the area.
Last Wednesday, the attack on the 59-year-old woman began as she answered the door to her home on Glenbury Drive in the middle of the day, only to be beaten with a handgun, thrown into a bathroom while 2 robbers searched her home, making off with cash and jewelry.
She was home alone at the time. She answered the door when she heard a knock. 2 suspects forced their way inside and began violently assaulting her, hitting her in the face with a handgun.
Constable Andy Patton says there's no known connection between the suspects and the victim. The woman suffering serious injuries, including a concussion, multiple broken bones in her face and ankle, and police are now asking witnesses to come forward. I'm Stuart McGinn.
6 City News Time, 4:37. The chief of police held a year-end news conference at headquarters this morning. Mark Saunders proud of his officers, but admits more work needs to be done, and says 2020 will have a community-centric approach and see the rise in police body cams and a new shift schedule. He's also asking for more help.
We are requesting 341 net new officers to help us move to a more proactive policing and enforcement model. The new hires will replace those that retire or depart and will be assigned to priority response, traffic, and neighborhood community officer programs.
Saunders also reminded the public about the work on guns and gangs, as well as wrapping up the Bruce McArthur case.
This is 680 News. Ontario teachers in the French language school system have voted 97% in favor of a strike. The union president says the result shows Franco-Ontarian teachers are determined to defend their rights. The union says 2 major obstacles to an agreement are the government plans to increase class sizes and impose mandatory e-learning requirements. Contract talks between all 4 major teachers unions and the government have become contentious. High school teachers have staged 3 one-day strikes. Elementary teachers are on a work to rule campaign, and Catholic teachers will be in a legal strike position as of tomorrow.
6 City News Time, 4:38. 14 people, including 13 boys between the ages of 12 and 17, face charges related to bullying, assaults, and thefts from students at a North Oshawa high school. This constable tells 6 City News police began keeping a closer eye on Maxwell Heights Secondary in early December.
Well, this was after, I guess, a couple of complainants from the ranging from educators to students that attended the school or taught at the school, and after receiving that information, our investigators did do a project.
The boys are current and former students. 1 adult, the parent of one of the suspects, is also charged.
Coming up on 680 News, traffic and weather together on the ones, including an update on some problems eastbound on the 401 at Meadowvale on the Express.
680 News Time, 4:39.
Keep on rocking at Casino Rim Resort with these great shows. Rocking the new year with Colin James on December 31st.